Welcome to Lobo Playoff Football, brought to you by Longview ISD. I'm Chuck Zach along with Tony Kirk, and we're live from Mesquite Memorial Stadium for the Class 5A Division I Regional II Finals between the Longview Lobos, the number one team in the state in 5A Division I, and the second-ranked Mansfield Timberview Wolves. And we are looking forward to an unreal matchup. And I tell you what, if there's not enough on the line, you get through this one and you get a chance to see the state semifinals and possibly the team all year long we've been keeping an eye on, the Aledo Bearcats.
Yeah, that's something to think about another day. This evening you got Wolves to deal with, and familiar facility, Mesquite Memorial, kind of a home away from home for the Longview Lobo, but unfamiliar foe in Mansfield Timberview.
No question about it. We've got Wolves and Lobos, which are wolves.
Akin to each other.
Yeah, so they're kind of the same thing. We've got that going on. What we have been keeping an eye on all day was the weather. Driving over from East Texas, it was foggy, it was kind of dewy. We've gotten here, the temperature has increased each hour as we've been moving towards the west, and right now we're at 64 degrees, expecting it to be around maybe 65 at kickoff. It's actually still warming up and may get to 66 by about 8 or 9 o'clock before it starts cooling off when a front comes in. We got a little bit of wind to deal with, which you will see from the cameras as we get going later on. Wind is actually blowing into the north at about 11 miles an hour. So we got a wind coming. We've got maybe some gusts, although those have dissipated quite a bit. It should be a perfect night in December for football. And if you're playing football in December, it's perfect anyway.
It's perfect anyway. A few more folks from Longview have already made it into the gates. They had probably a little longer to drive, but the folks from Mansfield had to come through the Metroplex, through Arlington, into the Dallas area to get here to Mesquite. So theirs was maybe a little more difficult commute, while the commute up 20 and 80 into Mesquite was much simpler for the Longview folks.
All right, well, what we've got today obviously is a match of heavyweights. These are two of the last three unbeatens in 5A Division I. The other one, well, that's way in Region 4. That's Far High School. We're not worrying about them right now. We are worrying about what's coming up in front of us, though. The Lobos 13-0. Perfect record in district, obviously, in 7 5A Division I. And, of course, coached by John King. 210 wins in his career in 19 seasons. And in the playoffs, he's already got 48. So if you can win today and you can win next week, you're looking at a state championship berth and 50 wins for Coach King if you can get that far down the road, which he would hate to even have that conversation about.
No, he wouldn't talk about it right now, but that would be a nice coupling. But that's a discussion for another day. Right now, he would probably want to talk about this one in front of him, and that's a formidable opponent in Timberview. You and I have looked at a little video this week, and most impressive thing's got to be that big offensive line of theirs.
Yeah, they are some big boys up front, the hogs, if you will. They're all 300-pounders. It's going to be a question of will and strength and stamina and just how much can the Longview defense deal with the big five guys up front. We're going to come back to them in a minute. Mansfield comes into this game also 13-0, 8-0 in their district standing. They're out of 5A. James Brown is their head coach. James is 79 and 49 in his 11 years in Mansfield. It's not his only gig. He's been head coach before at North Forney for 1 year. He went 10-2 at Fort Bend Kempner. He coached 4 years there, did 22-20 for a record there. Had a year at Brazosport where he did 1 year and went 2-8 and was an assistant at Alvin. So he's been around the game for a long time. He's crossed over the 100-win plateau. He's got actually 113 wins and 79 losses in his career. And we were doing a little homework getting ready for today's game, only to find out we've all kind of got a connection. It's weird how this kind of thing works. But some of the folks that we know include Rick Minter. He used to be the head coach at Cincinnati, was coach at Notre Dame. He's an assistant, a special assistant up at Michigan. His son Jesse is the defensive coordinator at Michigan. James Brown's son, JB, is the special teams analyst at the University of Michigan. So they got their hands full this weekend with a Big Ten championship to prepare for.
Well, more importantly, you forgot to mention his daughter.
No, his daughter also, yes. His daughter is the recruiting specialist, director of recruiting over at SMU.
Go Ponies.
You happy about that?
That was for me.
I understand.
As a former SMU student, I appreciate that. As an alumni, I want to make sure we got that one in.
You bet. Let's talk about the playoff path to get here, because these two obviously came in as district champions, so they got to take on a number 4 in the first round. For Longview, that was Crosby. Back at Longview, won that game 49-15 in the second round, the area round. Frisco Lone Star, a 38-17 win there. Last week, fell behind Port Arthur Memorial 7-0, despite getting 3 first-half turnovers, and then put the gas down. 51 straight points. They win 51-7 to get themselves here. On the other side, Timberview, to open up district play, or by district play rather, they beat Frisco Heritage 33-14. They beat Barbers Hill 35-17 in the area round. In the regional semis, they beat Frisco Reedy. And last week, that game got a lot closer maybe than Wolves fans would have liked. They had actually a 17-point lead that shrunk all the way down to 2 before finally ending with a Wolves 28-26 win over Frisco Reedy last week. And as a result of that win, James Brown was named the 5A Coach of the Week. So you got everything set up for what has been two teams eyeballing each other from afar since August. Now here they are in the last game in this region in December, 1 versus 2 in the state. They're coming to you live today from Mesquite Memorial.
Timberview probably needed that contest last week. They'd had a relatively easy district schedule. A lot of DISD, Dallas Independent School District teams on their schedule, and to be honest, they weren't very formidable opponents as Timberview kind of blew through their district. And so last week's close matchup probably did them a favor, and for Coach Brown and his staff to find out what they can do in a ball game that is a tight game.
Yeah, district games, they really did not get tested. You know, Longview had a 70-0 win over West Mesquite to end the season, but most of their games were in the 30s to 40s point range wins, except for Lancaster. But for Mansfield Timberview, they were wins like 60-0, 80-0, 65-6, 70-17, 63-6. They were putting up massive numbers on one side, and on the other side, there just weren't much that they were facing offensively, and so their numbers look a little inflated potentially, and maybe on both sides of the ball, but certainly on the defensive side.
Yeah, so if you're a coaching staff and you've gone through that type of district schedule, probably got a little nervous last week, but after it was over, probably appreciative of the fact that you got a little more, your mettle got tested a little bit last week if you were Timberview.
So as Longview fans, you're looking at that going, well, how do they compare? Well, Timberview teams, their opponents, went 68-73. Longview opponents went 72-69, so they're pretty close if you're looking at things right there. The margin of victory for the games against the playoff teams now that each of them had. So Longview played 7 teams that made the playoffs. Timberview played 6 teams that made the playoffs. The Lobos beat theirs by an average of 32 points a game. Remember I told you those big numbers. The Wolves beat their playoff opponents by just 17 points a game. So almost 2-1 margin, Longview's opponents versus Timberview's opponents. And let's talk about strength of schedule. On the Max Preps strength of schedule chart, in the 40s is amazingly difficult. In the single digits is amazingly easy. Longview's strength of schedule, 31.1. Timberview's 13.8. So if you want all the comparisons in 13-0s and go, oh my gosh, it's 1 versus 2. They are. They're 1 versus 2. They're both unbeaten. Longview's played tougher opponents, and they've beaten the better of the tougher opponents by larger margins than Timberview did.
Last week they drew a team out of Port Arthur, one of the hotbeds of longtime high school football powers. They had Memorial last week in a familiar place down in Lufkin at the Abe Martin Stadium. So little different path for them. Timberview's been mostly around the Metroplex.
Indeed, and here we are again around the Metroplex, so they've really not had to travel much at all. You mentioned last week's win over Port Arthur. We said they got down 7-0 before they went on the run. It was really a Jordan Allen coming out for the playoffs. He had struggled the first couple of playoff games this year, had a 2-for-10 game to open up the playoffs against Crosby. A little bit better in week number 2, but last week in week 3, 10 of 11, 197 yards. He was on, and when he's on, that means Jalen Hale gets involved with big numbers, and when Hale gets involved, that means the running game has to worry about a little less defense because the safety's now starting to back up, and everything opened up, and that's what happened last week.
Yes, and that's kind of what you look for with this Longview offense. 10 to 12 passes is plenty for John King. Now, he showed during the season they're capable of spreading it out. It'll be interesting to see tonight how much will they run out of their spread formation, how much will they go back to the old-fashioned I formation featuring Taylor Tatum. And if you're Timberview, that's one of the tough things you've had to figure out this week. Which Longview team will you see predominantly with their offensive play?
I would think they're going to be the one that runs.
Well, they're going to run out of either one, and that's the great thing. If you're watching and you haven't seen Longview play this year, and why haven't you?
Right.
When they're in the shotgun, a lot of times they'll have both backs in, but Tatum will be out in the slot or even out wide sometimes. Elijah Johnson tends to be their running back when they're in the spread formation.
All right, we started this setup. Kickoff is coming up in about 17 and a half minutes. We are going to take a quick break. We will come back here in just a second. Of course, Longview ISD is what you're checking out right here, our presentation of Lobo football.
The smartest choice you can make for your child's future is Longview ISD. Longview schools go beyond the traditional to offer a complete education, creating lifelong learners. Longview ISD empowers your child to take on the world, from their first day of school to graduation, and prepares them for whatever career they may choose, offering all the benefits of private education without the cost. Educate yourself and choose Longview ISD.
All right, we welcome you back to our presentation here of Longview ISD of Lobo football. Let's talk about the Wolves for a minute. You are familiar, obviously, with the Lobos. Let's get you familiar with the opponent, because this is a two-headed monster in two different places on offense, and this is really where this team's conversation begins. First of all, let's talk about quarterback. There are two of them. They split the snaps almost identically, and their numbers for the season are almost identical as a result. Their quarterbacks are going to be number 3, Cameron Bates. He's a junior. And number 17, Zurich Humes. He's a junior. So you got two juniors. Here's what their numbers look like this year, and I don't want to overwhelm you with numbers. I'll just do this. Both of them attempted 100 passes exactly this season. Bates completed 57. Humes completed 56. Bates threw for 892 yards. Humes threw for 882 yards. That's how close they are. Bates threw 16 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Humes threw 15 touchdowns and 1 interception.
So how do I tell them apart?
By their number. One's 3 and one's 17. Otherwise, you can't. Bates is getting some looks already from Texas Tech as an athlete. I doubt he'll be a quarterback there, but probably an athlete. But they have two quarterbacks. Both of them can run as well. Bates is a better runner. He's run for about 450 yards and 9 touchdowns. Humes about 250 yards and 6 touchdowns. So when Bates is out there, probably more likely that he may take off and run, as opposed to Humes, a little less likely.
Which, against this Longview defense, his mobility may garner him more playing time tonight. We who have seen Longview play this year know they can flat get after the quarterback, particularly when it's an obvious passing down. And so if you got second long, third and long, you may want your more mobile quarterback back there. And
we said it was a two-headed monster in two places. The other place is tailback. Their two tailbacks are numbers 1, Jarvis Reed, and number 6, Javion Madison. Reed ran for 1,226 yards, Madison for 1,230 yards. So 4 yards between the two of them, 18 touchdowns for Reed, 17 touchdowns for Madison. So they've got a double-headed quarterback issue you got to deal with, and two running backs who can spell each other, and you've got a fresh back down there all the time.
But it really goes back to what we talked about early in the broadcast, is that offensive line makes both work well. It's such a big offensive line, even for the 5A level, and they've got 5 kids across the line that are just bigger than I think anybody Longview has played this year.
They're bigger than some college lines. Let's do that. At left tackle, a guy that's probably going to be a fixture in Austin for a while. That is number 77. He's Andre Kojo. He's 6'7", 315 pounds. He's the real deal. Next to him, Christian Voa. He's a 325-pound sophomore. He goes 6'3". the center, and usually your center's a little smaller. You may run about a 250-pound center, 240-pound center, a little lighter, a little more mobile because you got to move around. Their center's 6'1", 313. That's Marco Herrera. Next to him, 5'10", 305-pound senior Devin Jolly. And over at the other side, the right tackle, Bami Badusi, he is 6'6" and 316 pounds. So you got Andre on one side, Bami on the other, and a lot of beef in between them.
In watching video this week, they really like to get the ball outside, which is surprising considering how big they are. You'd think they'd really make their living between the tackles. But they like to have their backs bounce it out, and so they like to seal the end of the line, and that's going to be a big part of that tonight. I'm sure John King's going to remind this officiating crew tonight to make sure his ends aren't being, put into a dance pose, as you sometimes see. Those big offensive tackles like to grab those defensive ends and dance with them a little bit.
Sure. You don't want them getting out there, as I want my backs to get out there. So you're right. The ends are going to be important, and maybe even more important, the outside linebacker is going to be key for the Lobos tonight. Corners and outside linebackers can't miss tackles, or this may be a difficult night tonight. They do their job, hold the line of scrimmage, let the linemen tie up those big linemen, and those guys on the edge make tackles, and the Lobos have a very good chance to cruise tonight.
And we go back to that Lobo defense, which, as good as the offensive weapons are on this Longview team, and they've got some phenomenal offensive weapons, the real strength of this team all year has been that defense.
It's almost stupid how many, or maybe this way, how few points they've given up this year. This defense has given up 116 points total, and it gets worse in the second half. They give up 98 first-half points. I said there were 116 total. That's 22 points total in the second half they've given up all season long. They went for the longest time without giving up a touchdown in the fourth quarter, and the offense made a mistake and gave up a touchdown offensively. But other than that, just one other score all year in the fourth quarter against the Lobos. So very good defensively. And so let's talk about that for a little bit. The defense for the Lobos, we really go 5 deep on the defensive line, and actually 6 now that Ethan Pulte's gotten healthy and in the lineup in the rotation. Billy Smith, Jaquavion Jackson, Jordan Wright, Zarius Shepard on the outside, Pulte and Omarion Watkins on the inside. Those 6 guys have controlled the line of scrimmage all season long and has now upped the game about pass rushing to the place where we're starting to talk about 4 different Lobos being in double figures for sacks this year. And it may be by the end of the night tonight. It's almost stupid how many sacks this defensive line has gotten, but Shepard's got 10.5. Billy Smith has 11. Jeremiah Rugeley at linebacker's got 11 himself, and we can add 9 sacks to Tadarian Boone. So you've got 4 guys that if Boone gets a sack tonight are going to be double-digit sack guys, which is unheard of.
Well, and it all goes back to the key down tonight, I think, for Timberview is going to be first down. They're going to need to get positive yards. They have this excellent running game coming in, and they're going to need to get 3, 4, 5 yards on first down so you don't get in those second and third and long situations which the Lobos feast upon.
Well, and the Lobos are really good pass rushers, not just the guys we mentioned, but Chase Smith has had an outstanding year defensively. Caden Brooks has been there defensively all season long. He's got a couple of sacks. I mean, you go up and down the front 7 and front 8 in some cases, and you've got guys who can get to the quarterback and don't have a problem. Tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about the Lobo offense and get you set up. We are about 9 minutes away from the opening kick, and we'll be right back. You're watching Longview ISD's presentation of Lobo football.
Are you ready to get into teaching at Longview ISD? We're an innovative school district with modern campuses, high-tech teaching tools, and a challenging and diverse curriculum. Longview ISD proudly recognizes and rewards teaching excellence and offers professional growth and a generous salary and benefits package. But the #1 reason to become a teacher at Longview ISD is this. Join our team today. Longview ISD, education with purpose.
All right, we're back. We've got just under 9 minutes left before we have the opening kickoff here. Let's talk Lobo offense for a little bit. Obviously, Jordan Allen, we talked about earlier in the big game last week. He has been outstanding all year long. He was one of the questions coming into this year. He has answered the question for most of the first 13 weeks of this season. He's completed just over 60% of his passes. He has thrown for 1,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions, and he has really been the key to this team being able to run successfully as well as keep Jalen Hale involved successfully. We got to start the offense, though, talking about Taylor Tatum. The records are starting to fall in big numbers. He is currently the only player ever to get to 29 rushing touchdowns in a year. We get to 1, and he'll do something no other Lobos ever done, which is get 30 touchdown rushes in a season. He has already scored more touchdowns across the board than anybody in Longview history. He has 31 touchdowns this season to break the record for that. He has 1,654 yards. He needs 73 more to become number 3 rusher for a single season in Longview history, 346 yards to become the 3rd player to ever reach 2,000 yards in a single season. And we'll add to that Jalen Hale. Why not? The University of Alabama commit has had an outstanding year. Last week went over 100 yards receiving. He's over 1,000 for the season at 1,026 yards. His 2nd straight 1,000-yard season, and he's only, in fact, the only player to do that twice in a career. How about what else you want?
Well, Elijah Johnson, who may be the 2nd best running back in the district, and if not, maybe the 2nd best running back in East Texas. He's an outstanding running back, typically plays the fullback in the eye. We mentioned earlier he likes to have him at a halfback in the spread formation. But Elijah's an outstanding running back, and it doesn't stop there. They've got some guys on the bench that are very well, but those 2 in particular give headaches to defensive coordinators all year long.
Johnson with 828 yards and needs 172 to join Tatum with 1,000 yards rushing on the season. And we'll do all that. And they had to retool and move some offensive linemen just a little bit because of an injury earlier in the playoffs to Mongo Williams, and as a result, they've kind of retooled things and added sophomore Fernando Longoria. He's taken over the left tackle spot, and the other guys have all moved except Tavion Morgan, who stayed at center. Jacoby Watts is now at left guard. Martin Guerrero moved from right tackle to left tackle. Jax Norman flipped from left tackle all the way over to right tackle, and they have not missed a beat. So they added in the sophomore, and they keep on going. And we don't get to talk about the offensive line nearly enough sometimes when we talk about the big numbers that Tatum, Johnson, and Hale are all putting up. But if it's not for those 5 guys up front, they're not doing anything with those big names.
Yeah, they do an outstanding job, whether it's in the I formation, whether they spread it out. They're excellent in both formations and really make the whole thing go.
All right, well, we've mentioned virtually everybody as we're getting ready for this one. We'll remind you the winner of this one gets a date next week with either Burleson Centennial or Aledo. Those 2 are playing tomorrow afternoon over at Frisco at the Star. And Burleson's 12-1, Aledo's 11-2. Looks like potentially we're looking at either a next Friday or next Saturday matchup, and probably around the Metroplex you would expect.
One would expect.
All right, you can see the Lobos lined up outside there, or inside their blow-up helmet, getting ready to enter the field here and get ready to start. We're about 5 minutes away from kickoff. Chuck Zach and Tony Kirk along with you. So glad you could be part of this and that we could be part of it with you as we get down to the final game in this region. A season that started back in August, and here come the Lobos in December.
Didn't get the howling of the wolf, but hey, that's all right. You got plenty of howling to go on the rest of the evening.
Now, see, if you do that, the Timberwolves may think it's for them.
Oh, okay.
So you got to be careful about a lot of howling. But we got the Lobos out here. They're obviously in the home forest green uniforms. And we're getting ready for the Wolves from Mansfield, Timberview to run out as well. And then we're going to get ready for a coin toss and get ready for an opening kick.
Probably throw in a national anthem along the way somewhere as well.
You would think. Let's not ignore the other regions. The other 2 regions are going tonight as well for their finals. College Station's taking on Smithson Valley. That'll be tomorrow afternoon in Pflugerville. And the last one will take place tomorrow night, 6 o'clock in Corpus Christi, where Veterans Memorial is going to take on Far San Juan Alamo North for the final. That's the Region 4 final as well. All right, here come the Timberwolves as they start making their way across the field. They will be the visitors today. Timberview will be on the visiting side. Lobos on the home side here at Mesquite Memorial. They've been in the stadium a lot of times, not too many times on this side. usually on the other side when you're visiting, playing one of the Mesquite teams, but tonight they're going to be hanging out on the home side, and there is a large Longview crowd already in attendance. If you couldn't make it, hopefully we do you justice, but there are a bunch who made the drive over from Longview, and it's not packed, but a pretty darn close to packed home side full of Lobo fans.
Population of Gregg County is a little low this evening, as a bunch of them have showed up here in Mesquite. And unlike in Lufkin, don't mind being a home team here. It's playoff time. You don't mind being the home team.
All right, we're going to take one last break. We'll get you ready for the coin toss and the national anthem. That's coming up in just a second. You're watching Longview ISD's presentation of Lobo football.
Welcome to the Lobo Store. Here in the Lobo Store, 100% of the proceeds from the sale of the merchandise goes back to the Lobo football team. Also, we are run by volunteers who love Lobo Nation.
We carry toddler sizes through adult 6X and have a variety of merchandise for sale throughout the football season. We are located inside the athletic office on Hawkins Parkway, behind the football stadium. Come see us and support your team.
Go Lobos! I'm just a product of Longview and LASD. They want their students to be successful, to get good grades, to feel safe, and focus on what's important. LASD has just countless opportunities. That's just integral in grounding a student and allowing them to fulfill their potential. LASD has just really prepared me in that I feel I'm a very well-rounded person. I know I'll be able to do amazing things, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without Longview ISD.
An international baccalaureate diploma from Longview ISD can open a world of opportunity for your student. Longview ISD's IB program is a challenging alternative to traditional curriculums with a high rate of acceptance by top-tier universities. Success-oriented IB students achieve high academic standards and are prepared to help build a better world. Learn more about our international baccalaureate program at chooselisd.org. Longview ISD, education with purpose.
For the color guard from Longview High School.
All right, the Lobo Band bringing you the national anthem tonight. Chuck Sack, Tony Kirk with you here this evening. We are so proud to be able to bring you this broadcast courtesy of folks at Longview ISD as we are getting ready for the captains for both squads to come on out and flip the coin and let us decide who's going to go in what direction. We're again about 64, 65 degrees a wind that has still blown at a pretty good pace, about 10, 11 miles an hour. We'll see if that affects the kicking game at all today. And here come the captains. Lobos will bring out Jared Allen, Jeremiah Rougeley, Jordan Wright, and Tadarian Boone. They are the captains today for Longview. On the other side, you can see number 77. That is Andre Kojo. He will be their big guy. You
can't see anybody behind him.
Figuratively as well as literally, as he blocks out the rest of the captains who are coming.
Your white hat this evening, your referee out there, is Rocky Marcinell. He's worked about 5 state championship games. Your umpire's Kyle Piercefield. He's out there at the middle of the field with him right now for the coin toss. They're going to be joined this evening by head linesman Jeff Kimmel. Line judge is going to be Reggie Panekare. Back judge is Keith Murchison. Field judge is Nick Stansell. Side judge is Derek Wilson. And your alternate tonight is going to be Jamar Jones.
All right. They will toss up the coin.
Longview High School, Mansfield, Timberview High School for making it to the quarter-round final of the high school playoffs. Congratulations.
You can hear our referee is mic'd up today, so we're going to get a chance to hear specifically what may go wrong if there's a flag thrown.
Lobos, you're the home team, correct? You're the visitors, correct? Got a coin. Heads, tails, what would you like? Heads. It is a heads. You win the toss. Would you like to kick, receive, defend the goal, defer, or defend, or kick? Okay. What would you like? You want to receive? What way would you like to kick? To the clock? Okay. Timberview has the toss. They will receive. Gentlemen, shake hands. Let's have a great game.
All right. Well, it looks as though Mansfield Timberview has won the toss, and they want the football to start things.
Going to take on that Lobo defense early on and see what they've got for them.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, probably a really smart move if you think about it. If you get behind, you may take yourself out of what you want to do offensively. It probably makes a whole lot more sense for the Timberwolves coaches, for the Wolves coaches, to make that decision that they want to be on offense to begin things. All right, Michael Fields will tee the ball off. Fields has been unreal this season. And I'm going to change that. It looks like maybe we're going to do different kicker instead of Michael. Looks like John Masaveas is going to be the kicker for kicking the thing off today. Normally with the automatic, it's Michael, and instead it's John who's going to be doing the kicking.
John's been worked in and out of the games a lot this year. Due to some blowouts, he's gotten a lot of action, and he's done some kickoffs this year.
All right, we're ready. Let's get going. Opening kick on the way. And it will be a line drive, and that's probably why. With an 11-mile-an-hour wind behind him, Masaveas kicks it out of the back of the end zone. The ball's going to come out to the 25-yard line, and that is where we get rolling. Let's do the defense for you for the Lobos. Billy Smith, Omarion Watkins, and Jordan Wright will start. Jeremiah Rougeley and Chase Smith, the outside linebackers. Tadarian Boone and Caden Brooks are the inside backers. Corners are J.K. Curry and Jaden Simmons. The safeties, Willie Nelson and Buda Garrett.
Come out in the gun in a pistol formation.
And on first down, the Wolves are going to begin the game with that second quarterback, Humes, in there, and his first pass of the playoff game almost intercepted, tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete, and it'll bring up second down and 10. So Zurich Humes is number 17. He's starting out there along with number 1, Jarvis Reed, in the backfield. Andre Kojo, Christian Voa, Marco Herrera, Devin Jolly, and Bami Badusi are the offensive linemen. 15 is Titus Evans. He's a 6'1" senior lining up at 1 receiver. 10 is Darion Hill, and 7 is Savion McKinnon. Those are the receivers for the Wolves. On second down and 10 at the 25-yard line, they'll go to the ground. That's a handoff to Jarvis Reed, and Reed is going to get a yard, maybe 2, and then the door is slammed shut. It'll be third down and 8.
If you looked at the formation, left tackle, big split between he and the guard. That's the big man headed to the University of Texas. A little extra pressure on him tonight. His future boss is here tonight as Coach Sarkeesian was seen on the sideline before the game with the offensive line coach Flood.
All right, 3rd down and 8, 27-yard line. Humes will roll to his right and look. He's looking at Evans, and instead he's going to pull the ball down and run, and he will have a first down as he crosses the 35 and steps out of bounds right on the 40-yard line.
Yeah, you can thank his receiver, number 15, for that. That's who shielded the defender and allowed him to get just enough yardage for the first down. Tell you what, the big line on the left side really did a lot of dancing, I'll call it that, with the rush from the backside that time.
Dancing? What do you mean dancing?
They were in close quarters.
So you're talking about they were slow dancing.
It was a slow dance because they had their hands full.
All right, first down, 1 minute gone. We'll go back to the ground, handoff inside. That is going to be a yard, 2, maybe 3 at the most for Jarvis Reed. It'll bring up 2nd down and about 7.
Yeah, that's really what we expected to see more of coming in. They kind of surprised us with the pass on first down. We wondered if they would try to run between the tackles against this, what has been at times a little undersized defensive line for the Lobos.
Darius Shepard, 55, is in at right defensive end. 2nd and 7. Hume still at quarterback, and again, we're going to roll. He dropped the football. He rolled, now he lost control completely. Scooped up by the Lobos, first down Longview after Shepard, whose name I just mentioned, gets the first turnover of the game, and Humes just dropped the football after he had it was really a run-pass option, if you will, and he left the ball in the hip of Reed a little too long, and the first turnover puts the Lobos in outstanding field position as they'll start at the 24-yard line.
Well described. He rode the zone read a little too long on the hip of the running back and just sort of juggled it away as he went away from the back and started working down the line in what looked to be more of a pass option.
So Darius Shepard gets the ball, first turnover of the ball game, first down at the 24-yard line. And on first down, how about Taylor Tatum? Busts this one to the 20 where he'll gain about 4, maybe 5 yards. 2nd down and 5 coming up.
We said they don't often go with both backs in the backfield when they're in the gun. That time they did. They started Tatum in the slot. He slid into the left side of the quarterback, little crossbuck play, probably a little counter trap type play. He broke open for a decent gain on first down, and I think he's going to take a break here as they stay in the gun.
Yeah, they go 5 yards, so it's 2nd down and 5 at the 19-yard line. We'll set you up the lineup here in just a second. Handoff Elijah Johnson. Johnson picking his way forward. He's short of the first down at around the 16-yard line, so we'll get 3rd down and 2.
That's what we're more used to seeing traditionally. They have Elijah Johnson back there. One of the reasons they have him back there, excellent pass receiver out of the backfield. He's a fine running back, nothing wrong with his running skills, but he's an outstanding pass receiver and pass blocker as well.
All right, here's the line for the Lobos. Fernando Longoria, left tackle. Jacoby Watts, left guard. Tavion Morgan's the center. Martin Guerrero, the right guard. Jax Norman, the right tackle. Jamerson Derensburg in there at tight end right now. On 3rd down and 2, handoff to Tatum. He's got a first down and pushes forward to about the 11-yard line. They'll pull him right between the 11 and the 12, but the Lobos have a first down.
Yeah, I got to give a little love to Martin Guerrero. Big block that sprung him. Tatum put his shoulder down and finished the run, and now they got 1st and 10 from the 11. They can get a first down as Reese checks into the game.
Angel Ramos also in there at tight end. Jalen Hale and DK Reese, the receivers. Elijah Johnson, Taylor Tatum are the runners. Joseph Foster's 47. He's defensive end for the Wolves. Dylan Battles, 99. He's their defensive tackle. Darren Walker's 54. He's also defensive tackle. Nathan Mabon, defensive end. He's number 50. Handoff to Elijah Johnson. Nothing going there as Mabon, who we just mentioned, leads the charge after a half-yard gain. The linebackers are 26. Chance Reddick Woods. He's a sophomore. 45 is Jalen Love. He's a senior and been a linebacker. Sean Larry is 14. He's also a sophomore. In the secondary, 20 is Hamlin Milligan. He's one corner. Jonathan Smith is number 4. He and Elijah Pratt, 25, are the safeties. And watch for number 8, Jordan Stanford. He may be on our number 8. Jalen Hale a lot. Texas Tech is very fond of Jordan Stanford. He may be playing there next year, and indeed they're going to match up on the far side of the field on 2nd down and 9.
First down, they left him out there all by himself. They're going to send him in motion.
Allen back to pass. First throw into traffic. There's a flag down. There were about 3 Lobo receivers. Ramos and Derensburg were in the same neighborhood, and it looks like we may have a hold on the flag. And let's see, we're going to wait for the official from the white hat. But there was a flag thrown right in that pile of receivers.
Yeah, had linesman made the motion of a defensive hold, that would not only grant yardage, it would grant a first down as well.
No, you say that.
Lobos are backing off. Maybe they're saying it was a hold on the offense. But it was downfield, so that should be a spot foul from down there.
2 penalties.
Holding. Number 2.
There's one of them holding on the defensive side.
Ineligible receiver downfield.
And one of the linemen got too far downfield. That was the center, Tavion Morgan, so they're going to set the ball back on the 10-yard line, and we'll do second down again.
We get a do-over on that one.
People love do-overs.
If you're a Lobo fan, you do here.
So second down, they can get a first down. Well, they've now pulled the chains away. They can't get the first down apparently anymore.
Yeah, they still can. They just got it off. They're just not getting it stuck right on the goal line there.
Let's see. It looked like that was a little short. They can get a first, it looked like,
yeah,
at about the 1.
they can still get a first around the 1-yard line.
All right. Second down from the 10. Allen with the handoff. Taylor Tatum coming left. He's got the 5, and he dives for the pylon. Let's see if we get hands up. No, they say he stepped out of bounds closer to about the 2-yard line. It'll bring up third down and short.
Looked like for a moment he might be able to get around the corner at the last second. Good job by the defender to take him down low, take his legs out from under him. We got 7:38 left here in the first quarter. It's 0-0. Longview's first possession after a Timberview turnover.
All right, third down, about a yard, maybe yard and a half to go for the first. They're going to go to the eye. Johnson in front of Tatum. Hale split out wide right. He's the only receiver in this set. Hand off to Tatum, looking for room up the middle. He's got it. He's in the end zone with the touchdown, and he's the first Lobo to ever run for 30 touchdowns in a season. He gives Longview a 6-0 lead with 7:34 to play in the first quarter.
Big push that time, right side of the offensive line. Johnson was the lead blocker, never had to drop his shoulder on anybody because the push from the offensive line was so good. Tatum just kind of pranced into the end zone.
Now we'll get Michael Fields out there. Fields, who has been perfect all season in extra points, 68 for 68. Andrew Tutt, the holder, snap a little high, kick on the way. It is up and good. 7-0 Lobos, 7:34 to play in the first quarter. We'll take a break. You're watching Longview ISD's presentation of Lobo football.
The smartest choice you can make for your child's future is Longview ISD. Longview schools go beyond the traditional to offer a complete education, creating lifelong learners. Longview ISD empowers your child to take on the world, from their first day of school to graduation, and prepares them for whatever career they may choose, offering all the benefits of private education without the cost. Educate yourself and choose Longview ISD.
All right, welcome back. How about 6 plays, 24 yards? First possession for the Lobos, a successful one. They pick up a fumble. They drive 24 yards and end the drive with a Taylor Tatum 3-yard touchdown to make it a 7-0 lead. Monseveus in for the kickoff again. He boomed the last one into the end zone. This one another line drive, and he'll kick it midway through the end zone again. We'll come back out to the 25-yard line. Will the Timberview Wolves, I want to keep saying Timber Wolves, which is just easier, but the Timberview Wolves trailing 7-0 now.
If this were a basketball game, that might be the correct term.
But it's not.
Timberview Wolves is a mouthful, and particularly when you're used to saying Timberwolves, but the Wolves kind of bit themselves in the foot the first time they had the ball as the turnover cost them, results in an early touchdown for the Lobos.
All right, well, they'll come out second possession, second quarterback. Number 3 is Cameron Bates. He's going to get the start now in this second possession. We'll see if number 6, Javion Madison, is his tailback or if they stay with Reed. On first down, we get the answer. It's still Reed, and he goes for about 4 yards up to the 29-yard line where it's second down and 6.
Trying to run behind the Texas commit over there on the left side, the big left tackle. Got a little bit. That's what you want on first down. We mentioned that's the most important down of the night for Timberview. You do not want to get in second and long, third and long against this Longview defense.
Just shy of the 29-yard line. Evans will split out wide to the near side. Darian Hill's in the slot. On the far side, Savion McKinnon. Banks, another handoff to Reed. This time they're trying to stretch this thing far left, and it got blown up early and then not much going. Maybe a yard and a half gain. Third down and about 5 now.
Yeah, Reed unable to bring him down, had the initial contact, but looks like that's Watkins checking into the ball game here. A little more bulk on the front line here on 3rd and 4.
Ethan Pulte checking out for Longview. All right, 3rd down. We've yet to see a pass from the Wolves. See if Banks is ready to try that. 3rd down and 5. Oh, Longview jumped. They came in early. There's no flag yet.
Yeah,
there it is. It's at the feet of the official as Banks ended up having to bail out of there. Longview was sending a blitzer, and he got there just a little bit early. Coming in was Buda Garrett.
Yeah, that was the easiest first down they're going to get tonight. His being off sides will result in the first down for the Timberview Wolves there.
Defense, number 10, offside. Ball blood penalty, first down.
He just mistimed it is all that was. If he gets that exactly right, Cameron Banks is in a world of trouble. But instead, Bates managed to bail out of there, avoid getting crushed, and the Lobos hand him a first down on the first penalty of the ball game. Bates back to pass now, looking sideline. Got a man over there. It's caught at the 45 on the Lobos side of the field as Titus Evans gets his first catch. Willie Nelson over there on the coverage, but it's a gain of about 20 and a first down.
That time Willie was playing a deep center field, a little slow to get over there, and they were able to complete the pass. Pass was actually a little underthrown, but the receiver did a good job to adjust and come back to it.
Best play of the evening so far for the Wolves. They go in a little faster pace, handoff to Reed, and he goes to the 42-yard line. Tackle made by Tadarian Boone.
Looks like they're going to try to get different defensive linemen in and out of this ball game to deal with this size up front for Mansfield.
Well, we said in the pregame, they got about a 6-man rotation defensively. So that's really not out of character for Longview.
But it's the night to do it for sure.
Yeah, it may be a have to tonight, though. 2nd down and 7.
A little change of the play here. Quarterback steps up, whispers in the ear of all 5 offensive linemen.
Number 2 is Joel Arden. He's in the backfield right now. Actually, it's 22, excuse me. Handoff again to Reed, trying to go behind the fullback, and that one just got stuffed at the line of scrimmage. That Lobo defense all over that. Jackson was in there on the tackle along with Watkins, and it brings up 3rd down, no gain, so it's 3rd and 7.
Great job by the interior lineman that time of Longview. Jammed it early, backers got in there and supported them, and just too much. They couldn't move them. Now that's that 3rd and long that if you're Timberview, you probably were a little nervous about.
Their fullback is Bethel Addo. He's number 32. You can see him kind of as a lead back to the right. They kind of say where we're going to go, where they put that fullback. Instead, they roll the other direction. Bates sets his feet, throws, ball is caught at the 31-yard line. Willie Nelson was all over the intended target, Darian Hill, but Hill hangs on to it for a gain of 12 and a first down.
Yeah, nice pitch and catch. Little roll left, but he didn't take long to get rid of the football. Probably a wise idea. He had some heat coming his way when he got rid of it, and so looks like they've decided with the rush of the Lobos, they're going to try to get rid of the ball pretty quickly.
This is Cameron Bates' drive, and he's been successful moving him down the field. First down, 31-yard line. Hill in motion. And again to the ground to Reed. Boy, I tell you what, the Lobo run defense is so solid. They stuffed that thing after about a 2-yard gain. It looked like there was a head of steam, but they blew that up in a hurry, and now it brings up 2nd down. Shepard and Jackson will head out. Into the game will come Rugeley and Billy Smith.
Jackson did a great job on that play. Really just stuffed his blocker, and he was the one that made the initial contact.
3:20 left to play first quarter. This quarter has been moving along. It's only the 2nd possession for the Wolves. Lobos have had it just once. On 2nd down, Bates back to pass, single coverage or some contact, no flag. Well played defensively by
Curry down.
J.K. Curry, the one senior in the secondary, and now it brings up third down.
We talked about it earlier in the year. Curry's development really has allowed Willie Nelson to move off that corner spot he played last year and take control of that safety position. That time Curry didn't need Willie's help. He had him taken care of by himself. Curry's big, long body makes it difficult for the receiver to get downfield.
Curry with 4 interceptions this season. He's had a couple in the postseason. Third down, probably 4-down territory. 3rd and 8 at the 29. Bates acts like he's going to throw instead. Quarterback keeper gets out of a tackle, still going to 20, the 15, the 10. They're not going to catch him, and we're going to have a 7-6 ball game.
Caught the Lobos sending 5 that time. Had 5 men with their hands on the ground. Looked like a start of a sprint race. And they took off, and when they did, quarterback made the correct call, sidestepped the first rusher, and took it to the house.
Well, we talked in the pregame, watch out for Bates running the football. He is the holder for the kick as well. As they get ready to try to tie this. Now they have 2 different kickers. I think it's Caden Olbitz who's going to be the kicker on this one. He bangs it through, and we've got a tie ball game. I'm going to reset that. That is 87. That is Emma Young. And you heard me right. Emma, a girl who's their kicker and has been an outstanding kicker this year. And now the first Wolf player, a female player, to score a point in a regional final game. We're tied at 7, 2:55 to play in the first quarter. We'll take a quick break. You're watching us here on Longview ISD, our presentation of Lobo football.
Are you ready to get into teaching at Longview ISD? We're an innovative school district with modern campuses, high-tech teaching tools, and a challenging and diverse curriculum. Longview ISD proudly recognizes and rewards teaching excellence and offers professional growth and a generous salary and benefits package. But the #1 reason to become a teacher at Longview ISD is this. Join our team today. Longview ISD, education with purpose.
9 plays, 75 yards. Mansfield Timberview Wolves tie this score up on a 29-yard touchdown run from Cameron Bates, and Emma Young, who kicked the point after, is going to do the duties kicking off as well.
Yeah, they expect her to do a rainbow. Watch her in warm-up. She's solid, but she doesn't have a lot of distance. Expect this to be some type of pooch rainbow type kick.
And of course, they're fighting the wind already in that direction, so she's going to have the wind blowing to her face. Here's the kick. It is short and directional, and will bounce at the 27-yard line. Lobos will grab it up there as Kelvin Washington goes across the 35 to about the 36-yard line.
Yeah, great field position for the Lobos as they start their second drive in a tied ball game. Impressive drive that time by Mansfield Timberview as they marched it down the field, and they were helped by a 3rd down offsides penalty that kept the drive alive, and that's been a little bit of problem for the Lobos throughout the year, little penalties like that.
2:50 to play in the first quarter, 7-7 ball game. Back to the eye. Jalen Hale in motion. And before we get going, we got a flag, and they're going to say motion on the Lobos as they go back 5 yards.
And while we're on the subject of, this is the other side of the ball. They've had some problems as well with some occasional little 5-yard penalties that have made drives more difficult. You're going to have to start this drive behind the chains.
Both of these teams a little penalty bit in the playoffs. Both of them with more than 20 penalties and more than 220 yards assessed against them so far this season. First down, we'll fake the handoff. Back to pass, Allen's got Hale caught at the 42-yard line, and he'll be slung out of bounds at around the 41. Over on the coverage that time is Hamlin Milligan.
Great trust in his receiver to be there that time. Allen got rushed. He had a untouched defender coming at him. He had lined up, or they had moved Hale into the slot. He ran a simple down and out. Allen trusted him to be there, released the ball before he could get his feet set. Great job by both of them to trust each other.
Gain of 11. Oh, I said first down, actually second down. It's gain of 11, so it brings up second down and about 4. To the ground they go. Taylor Tatum now has a first down as he gets to the 47-yard line.
Love the way they blended in the pass on first down. Let Tatum pick up the first down.
6 yards more for Taylor Tatum. 1:56 to play first quarter. Tie ball game. Freddie Hawkins checking in as Taylor Tatum goes out. Hawkins, a senior, 9 catches, 165 yards this season. He has been the long ball threat all year long. He'll line up far side on the outside. Jalen Hale in the slot. Allen back to pass. Hale's gotten open. Here comes the bomb, and there's contact, and Hale gets taken down. And actually pretty smart play defensively by Jordan Stanford. He got beat, and that was going to be a touchdown.
Yeah, both officials threw their flag. No doubt about that one. I think you're right. I think he thought at that point he's not going to get the 6. We'll give up the 15-yard penalty, which is all you get in high school football for that type of play.
Yeah, he saved a touchdown. 8 tackling 8 before the ball got there, but one of those that makes sense. You hate it as a Longview fan because you certainly had a chance for a touchdown, but you take the 15 yards and you move on. Ball's going to be placed down at the 37-yard line on the Wolves side of the field.
Yeah, I don't know if they have a call for that, but the safety had bit so much. I don't know if he had a call to let the corner know you're by yourself on that.
So Lobos will take the first down. We're down to 1:29 to play in the quarter. We'll fake it again. Back to pass. Allen, he's in some trouble. He's getting flushed. He's still running laterally and finally gets taken down back at the 44-yard line. That's one of those you almost wish he throws the ball away.
Yeah, he never could get the ball in his right hand. For some reason, he put the ball in his left hand, tucked it in the left side, which was a little dangerous towards the defense anyway, but it also took away the ability for him at the last second to maybe to chunk that thing past the line of scrimmage.
And that's going to be a loss of 7 back to the 44-yard line. So for a second time, Lobos are going to be behind the chains. They'll have second down and 17 coming up.
I think they really like getting Hale on the safety. They've a couple times now put him in motion, let him slide into the slot right before the snap.
Reese checks out. Play clock down to 2-1. They're going to have to get this off in a hurry, and they do. Allen back to pass, looking. Now he's going to throw one deep. He's got a man, and again there's contact, and again interference. Elijah Pratt this time grabbed onto Ethan Harrison, the intended target, and the Lobos are going to get another 15-yard penalty, which was a 2nd and 17. That should give you a first down.
Yeah, maybe not as blatant as the previous one, and it may not quite get to the first down, but it may not be as blatant, but he certainly looked to have the back of his jersey within his palm.
Yep, 15 in the automatic first down.
Automatic first down.
So 2 pass interference penalties, 1 on Jordan Stanford, 1 on Elijah Pratt. And the Lobos take those 30 yards worth of penalties, and thank you, we're at the 29-yard line.
Just 45 seconds left here in the first quarter. May see Longview go back to the air because they're about to lose the wind behind them.
First down at the 29. To the ground they go. Back to Taylor Tatum. Spins on a 1 tackle. Tries to bully his way out of another and gets knocked down between the 26 and the 25-yard line.
Yeah, if they want to take advantage of the wind before the flipping of the field, they're going to have to hurry to get this play off.
Doesn't look like they're in a big hurry.
Nope.
I think they're just going to take the 3 yards and let's have the quarter finish out if that's where we go.
Looks like John King is going to go. Well, looks like they're going to come to the line now. 14 seconds left. I thought for a moment he was walking to the other end.
All right, 2nd down and 7. Handoff to Elijah Johnson. Johnson's got the 20, fighting off a defender. He'll have a first down as the clock hits 0 to end the first quarter. First down when we come back. Tied at 7. Having trouble spitting that out. We'll come back for the second quarter. You're watching Longview ISD's presentation of Lobo football.
I'm just a product of Longview and LASD. They want their students to be successful, to get good grades, to feel safe, and focus on what's important. LASD has just countless opportunities. That's just integral in grounding a student and allowing them to fulfill their potential. LASD has just really prepared me in that I feel I'm a very well-rounded person. I know I'll be able to do amazing things, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without Longview ISD.
All right, you are watching regional finals action live from Mesquite Memorial. I'm Chuck Zach along with Tony Kirk. Longview and Mansfield Timberview knotted up at 7 after 1 quarter.
Great run that time by Elijah Johnson. Unfortunately, he comes out of the play limping to the sideline. He's headed to the bench. I suspect he and the trainer are going to have some interaction here in the next couple of minutes.
Longview will come back after Johnson's first down run. They'll have the ball placed at about the 17-yard line.
Good news, it looks like Johnson's going to try to walk it off.
Yeah, that is good news. We don't want Elijah banged up at all here. All right, so we'll flip sides of the field. The Lobos now will have the wind in their face for this second quarter.
First down, obviously in 4-down territory if they choose to go that direction.
Winner of this, we won't know who they're going to play until tomorrow, probably late afternoon. Aledo and Burleson Centennial playing tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Derensburg in motion. Lone back is Taylor Tatum. Will hand it to him. Finds a little seam. Boy, he exploded into that hole. And will take the ball down to around the 12-yard line. A little extracurricular stuff going on at the end of that between one of the defenders and a Lobo lineman.
Well, Darnsborg came in there. That was who was involved with that. He came in there as basically a wingback type player who set a block in the middle of the field. He was in motion at the snap. As the hole opened up, he was the lead blocker on that. Fullback Elijah Johnson was on the sideline.
Second down and 5, ball at the 12. Handoff again to Tatum. This is a stretch, trying to get the corner. Got a block from Hale. He'll get the end zone. 13-7, Lobos with 11:08 to play in the half.
Two tight end set. Darnsburg that time lined up at the tight end on the left side. He set the seal block on the edge. Not often you see two tight ends from the Lobos. That time they employed it well.
Michael Fields coming on for the point after. Touchdown on the ground, number 31 on the season, number 41 on the year for Taylor Tatum. Tut is the holder. Snap is on the money. Kick is on the money. 14-7 Lobos. 11:08 to play in the first half. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come right back. You're watching Longview ISD's presentation of Lobos football.
An international baccalaureate diploma from Longview ISD can open a world of opportunity for your student. Longview ISD's IB program is a challenging alternative to traditional curriculums with a high rate of acceptance by top-tier universities. Success-oriented IB students achieve high academic standards and are prepared to help build a better world. Learn more about our international baccalaureate program at chooselisd.org. Longview ISD, education with purpose.
All right, welcome back. 11:08 to play. That drive for the Lobos, well, 7 plays, 69 yards, 30 of those aided by pass interference penalties on the Wolves. It ends with Taylor Tatum picking up the touchdown. He's got 2 on the night now. That's 45 for his career. And he just tied Ernest Hunter, who played for Longview from 1987 to 1989 on the all-time touchdown list. Short kick. Little collision and a fair catch call for. Ball's going to come to the 25-yard line for Timberview.
Well, we'll see now if the Lobo defense can hit reset. They're not used to giving up long, sustained touchdown drives. They certainly did here early in this one.
Well, you know, the first drive, they could have gotten out of it a little early, but they couldn't stop a third down run. And then there was the fumble, so they got the drive ended anyway. The second drive, you got a chance to get out of that, but Bates on a third down just breaks a run 29 yards and scores. So here we'll come again. Third possession of the half. We're back to Humes, the starting quarterback, and not much doing there. Well, this pile keeps pushing. When you get 1,500 pounds of beef pushing forward, which is what you got, they actually gained about 9. Well, let's make it, 8 to the 31-yard line.
Yeah, you described it. It just turned into a rugby match, and they had too much size up front, and that's not you don't want to get in a tug of war with these guys or a rugby match with this offensive line.
All right, so second down and 2 at the 31-yard line. 10:30 left to play first half. 14-7 Lobos with the lead. Humes, ball bounces off his face, picked up by Reed, who's going to have a very close to a first down gain And I'll tell you what, the Wolves just dodged a big-time bullet because that hit Humes right in the face, and he's coming out.
Yeah, Humes has had 2 fumbles now, and that may be enough for Coach Brown. He may decide that he's going to stick number 3 back in there and leave him in there.
Yeah, Bates comes back in now. So after a couple of runs for Reed, they're actually going to say just a little bit short, so he didn't quite get the first down. They saved the play and maybe the possession, but didn't get the first down. So it's 3rd down and short. Bates back in at quarterback now. Hand off to Reed, and he'll have the first down as he burrows in inside across the 45. And boy, he is strong. Kept going all the way to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that time he didn't get as much push from his teammates. That was just his strong legs keeping that line moving.
Been a lot of Jarvis Reed so far. He got it up to the 39-yard line in the first down. Gained about 6 on that 3rd and 1.
We'll see if they're trying to set up some play action off of that.
9:32 to play in the half. Bates staying in at quarterback. And back to pass he goes, looking. He's wanting to get away, and he may just do that, running this near side, giving chase and bringing him down. What an open field tackle by Caden Brooks, who chased down the faster Bates and got him at the ankles and limited that to a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, he just laid out kind of like a receiver trying to catch a football, extended his body as far as he could to make the tackle down around the ankles. Bates had done an outstanding job. The spy had flushed him back. He came out of the pocket looking to take off. They had a spy waiting on him. He had to go the opposite direction.
That's 2nd down and 9. Bates fakes the handoff, throws, got a man to slant, and that's caught. That's Titus Evans into Longview territory. Willie Nelson on the tackle at the 43-yard line.
Yeah, Willie brought a load, but the receiver hung in there well and caught the football. No surprise here with a little breeze behind them. They've gone to some of this play action game now in the last 2 plays.
17-yard gain for the first down. 8:26 and counting left in this first half.
It may take turnovers to stop this team tonight. They're very potent offensively.
On first down, they go back to the ground to Reed. Reed tackled by Brooks at the 40-yard line after a gain of 3.
Tell you what, seeing Reed in person, he's much more impressive than seeing him on video this week. He's got strong legs and a strong heart.
2nd down and 7. Marion Watkins coming out of the game for this play. Right now they got the Lobos a little bit on their heels defensively. They haven't been able to really pin back a pass rush because these quarterbacks are really mobile. They cut off half the defensive line when they roll like that. Handoff to Reed again, stretch to the right, makes a nice move, and he's across at 30, ridden down finally by Curry at the 25-yard line, but another first down for the Wolves.
I'm going to repeat it again. Reed's better in person than he is on video. He's explosive, and that time he showed the speed. A couple other plays on this drive, he's shown the power. Did you mention before the game that he's got interest from colleges?
Oh, yeah.
I see
Game
why.
15, he has about a 10-yard average per carry this season. 120 carries, 1,226 yards. First down, 25-yard line. Bates back to pass, looking, throws towards the end zone. Got a man in the end zone. Touchdown.
Great position on Simmons.
Savion McKinnon with the catch. The 6'2 senior gets his 22nd catch and his 7th touchdown of the season, and we're a point after away from another tie.
Tell you what, we said both teams are Wolves. We got a dogfight going. This is a better Mansfield team than their maybe collective records show because they are talented and they're not playing a weak opponent tonight.
Emma Young on for the point after try. Bates the holder, kicks on the way. We're tied at 14. 7:31 to play first half. We'll take a break. We're coming right back. You're watching Longview ISD's presentation of Lobos football.
Welcome to the Lobos store. Here in the Lobos store, 100% of the proceeds from the sale of the merchandise goes back to the Lobo football team. Also, we are run by volunteers who love Lobo Nation.
We carry toddler sizes through adult 6X and have a variety of merchandise for sale throughout the football season. We are located inside the athletic office on Hawkins Parkway behind the football stadium. Come see us and support your team.
Go Lobos!
All right, welcome back. 7:31 to play. First half, 8 plays, 77 yards, took 3 minutes and 9 seconds. Tied us up at 14.
You and I conversed on the way up here. Was Mansfield Timberview worthy of a number 2 ranking? We looked at their schedule, kind of shook our head a little bit, but they've been impressive against a excellent Longview defense. We've seen this defense throughout the season, and I tell you what, both drives have been impressive against them.
Well, and a lot of this is Jarvis Reed, 12 carries, 50 yards so far. He's going for a little more than 4.5 yards a carry. Early on, they contained him. That last drive, he did better. Young for the kickoff now with the wind behind her. And again, kind of a short kick to about the 15-yard line. Washington to the 30, 35, makes a great move, 45, and he's going out of bounds. And boy, they run him way out of bounds
15.
into the bench area. And we got officials rushing over there to try to break that up. I'm not sure exactly what the Wolves act like they did something there. And to be honest with you, they added 15 yards to a great kickoff by Washington. It's going to be first down across the 40-yard line for the Lobos.
I thought the guy on the kick coverage thought for a moment he was an usher. He was taking Washington to his seat up in the stands. That was insane how far out of bounds he continued to bring the hit.
So they'll tack the 15 yards on, and the Lobos are going to have great position.
Now that's just a head shaker right there, why you continue to play beyond the wide stripe all the way into the bench of the Lobos.
Well, the 15-yard penalties have been killing Mansfield Timberview right now. That's their third.
Yeah, and they've just tied the ball game up here with 7:20 to go, and you get a play like that.
So first down at the 36-yard line. On first down, little counter, they'll hand off to Johnson, looking for a place to go. He's so patient, gets across the 35 to about the 33-yard line, made 3 out of what looked like nothing.
He sidesteps like a politician. I'm always impressed how he can get in traffic and just the slightest little move to the left or right lets the defender go by and picks up positive yards.
That's a gain of 3 on first down, second down and 7. We are under the 7-minute mark now.
Tatum back onto the field.
They'll go I formation. Hale's on the near side. Handoff to Tatum right up the middle, and he's good for about 5, short of the first down by about 2, maybe 3 yards. It'll bring up third down.
3rd and short. Obviously, you got 2 downs to pick this up. Little breeze in your face. You're probably not thinking field goal at this point in the field.
Talk about rushing Tatum now, 9 carries, 51 yards. So 51 for Tatum, 50 for Reed. Your big stud running backs are doing the work today.
This is kind of an offense coordinator's play right here. You've got 3rd and 2. If you decide to take a shot, you've always got the option to come back and try to pick it up on the ground on 4th down.
Derensburg in motion. He'll flip from right to left. Back to pass. Allen looking. Well, they're trying to go to Hale tunnel, and he got all kinds of trouble, and he's going backward. That thing got blown up early, and Sean Larry just concludes it. This will be back at about the 34s where they'll stop Hale's forward progress, and now it brings up 4th down, and you're back to 4th and 8.
Yeah, that's unfortunate right there. Now it looks like they're going to bring the punting unit on.
Oh, they kind of wasted great field position. I know you were advocating he got,
I wasn't
extra
advocating,
play.
I was saying you got an option. Downfield, I think is what I said, if you want to take a shot. I didn't say to run the tunnel screen back to the middle, but I understand you're trying to get the hands in the ball of a playmaker, and that's what Hale is. That time it just worked against him.
So Fields comes on to punt. He's got time. This one kind of an awkward, wobbly-looking punt. Takes a great Longview bounce, and they're going to down it at the 1-yard line. Well, how about that?
And that's what John King was hoping for, to punt in that situation, is to get a little ball to roll down there, let your coverage team get down there and cover it. When you're the return man, you kind of get on that 10-yard line and say, all right, I'm going to set up right here. That one lands in front of him. He gets away from it, and it just rolls all the way down inside the 1-yard line.
I'm going to probably assume here Michael Fields is going to tell you, I planned it that way the whole time. It wasn't a pretty kick, but it had a great result all the way down to the 1.
Interesting to see here. Will the Lobos get aggressive on defense? Will they bring an extra man or two, maybe rush blitz, or even just go all in just in case they decide to throw out of the end zone?
On first down.
Well, that's
and somebody
not going to cost
moved.
you a lot.
Yeah, they're going to move back about a half an inch. By the way, it's a Bates back in there at quarterback, and we'll get our first look at number 6 in the backfield. That's Javion Madison. He's their second running back. He also has run for more than 1,200 yards, and he's going to spell Jarvis Reed, who's played the first quarter and a half so far.
Little surprised they bring a new back into the backfield inside their own 1-yard line. Somebody that hadn't taken a handoff all night. As I said, I don't know if we'll see Humes again tonight.
First down and 10 and an inch from inside the 1-yard line. Bates is way back in his end zone, about 5 yards back. On first down, he's going to throw. He's got time. He gets hit as he releases, and the ball's incomplete. Trying to get it to Darion Hill, middle of the field. On the coverage that time, Jaden Simmons, and it brings up second down and 10.
We wondered, will they try to take a shot out of that end zone? When you're in this pistol formation and you've got the back behind the quarterback, it's an awkward position to line up in that deep.
5:02 left to play. First half, 14-14. Bates going to go ground this time. And they'll go right up the middle, 5, maybe 6-yard line. First carry for Javion Madison, and it brings up third down.
That time they ran to the right side, big gaping hole. Bates took full advantage of it, popped it out to give him a little breathing room. Now you got 3rd and 5. We've got 4:42 left on the clock. You really don't want to punt from down there. But boy, it's dicey to drop back against this Longview defense.
And the Lobo fans are into it right now. They are standing cheering on the defense. This is a huge play. 4:27 and counting at the 7-yard line. 3rd down and 4. Somebody moved. Handoff is going to be to Reed, who came back into the game. He runs through a tackle, a second tackle, and is taken down at the 16-yard line. No flags anywhere.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought maybe the left guard bobbled a little bit, but they're just saying, nope, wind the clock, move the sticks.
Impressive run. He is not an easy one to bring down. 10-yard gain for Jarvis Reed, who came right back in. They let Madison get the carry out of the end zone. When they needed 4, they went back to Reed. First down, 17-yard line. Keeps this drive going. Handoff again to Reed. Hit in the backfield. And boy, the Lobos are swarming right now. After giving up that 3rd down run, they kind of pinned their ears back and almost a run blitz. Maybe no gain on that 2nd down and 10.
Wasn't a run blitz, but what they did that time, great pursuit from the backside in. He got by the left tackle right away. Left tackle may have been a little lazy, running away from him. Shot by him, pursued from the backside. This time they're going to move that H-back over to that left side where he came from.
Yeah, Pulte's not sure if he's supposed to be out or in. He come almost all the way to the sideline and runs all the way back to set up on the inside defensive line spot. Handoff right up the middle. There's Reed again as he'll somersault across the 30 to the 31-yard line for 14 more.
Great job for Smith. He was on the offside at linebacker. He saw what was happening, quickly got back to the middle of the field, got low on Reed, which was probably a good decision. He's a horse when you try to take him up high. That time he got him low, but not till he got first down yardage.
Pulte comes out now. First down, 2:52 left to play in the half.
All tied up, 14 all.
Linebackers flip a little bit. Bates back to pass, looking deep's got a man, that's Evans. Boy, makes a circus catch and comes down at the 45-yard line for another first down for the Wolves.
Right now, the Longview secondary not playing bad. Right now, the Timberview receivers just making outstanding plays. Willie got over there just a hair late on a ball that, I'll be honest, when it was released, I didn't think was catchable.
Great grab with the wind blowing that ball as well. Evans went up and got it. First down, Longview side of the field. 2:22 left and counting. Ball bobbled. Bates has to go get it. Picks it up and throws it, completes it to McKinnon, who breaks one tackle and gets taken out of bounds at the 32-yard line.
Yeah, Bates doesn't play shortstop. The baseball coach needs to call him on Monday morning because that was an outstanding play. Just picked it up, rifled the ball out to where he knew his receiver was waiting. Just great eye-hand coordination that time by Bates on a bad snap.
Bates has come in here and has been a difference maker, no question about it. Throwing the football, he's 6 of 8, 109 yards and a touchdown. First down, 32-yard line, under 2 minutes left in the half. Back to the ground, they'll go to Reed, who stumbled and falls down at the line of scrimmage. Shepard falls on top of him, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Field turf got him that time. That's one of the few things that we've seen bring him down tonight. The Lobos have struggled to do so. That time when he planted the foot, it just went away from him. And so it's 2nd and long, but they've got 3 downs to go get a first.
Fast-moving half, 1:29 left. Half number 1, tied at 14. This drive started back on the 1-yard line. Bates claps the hands. Stretch, they're going to hand it off. That's Madison. He's hit in the backfield. They're not letting go. Pulte's there, and they hang on. This will be a loss of a yard, maybe 2. 3rd down and long coming up.
Great job. The initial contact held him up. Unfortunately, that's Boone who's going to have to lead the field as he lost his helmet on that play. But Boone did a great job of holding him up until he got some help from some size.
All right, 1:09 and counting.
Looked like for a moment Longview was going to take a timeout. Maybe, and I think they are, so Boone can go back out on the field.
Yeah, they need Tadarian out there. Timeout comes with 1:03 left to play on a tied-up half, 14-14. We'll remind you coming up at the half, we'll let you get a look at the band, but how about what we're looking at right now on the sideline?
Yeah, Steve Sarkeesian, I mentioned earlier, is here tonight with the offensive line coach, Coach Flood, and he's on the wrong sideline down there. That's not his recruit side, but there's plenty of guys down there that you might want to spend some time with.
Yeah, he's eyeballing real well. He's on the side where that left tackle's going to be.
Yeah.
So he's actually going to be looking very closely at number 77, Andre Kojo.
No surprise to see the head football coach from the state's flagship university here.
I want to keep his eye on some of these guys in green.
Yeah, there's
a handful of these that could probably play down there.
A young man named Tatum who's a junior that will be looking for somewhere to spend 3 or 4 years in the next 18 months.
Yeah. Young man named Jalen Hale, who they didn't manage to get, decided Alabama instead of Texas. Well, the Lobos took one. I don't know if they're taking 2 timeouts. They had the timeout, and it looked like they were ready to go back, and then all of a sudden the officials gave a signal of another one. Now, I don't know if that was just trying to finish off the first one or if they gave them 2.
Not sure, but either way, they've got a second timeout. Maybe Timberview. Let's see if they got the timeouts on the board. Both have 2 to go now.
I don't know. It looked like they signaled for a second. Maybe there was an issue. I'm not going to speculate. Either way, we are tied at 14. 1:03 left to play in the half. All right, Lobos out of the timeout. And certainly they call that. They want to keep Tadarian Boone in this game. Boone leads the team in tackles with 90. Has 4 interceptions, 9 sacks, 14 tackles for a loss, 3 forced fumbles. Oh, and by the way, 2 touchdowns as well.
Don't have the 5 men down now, only 4. We'll see if they send another one.
And here goes Bates back to pass, looking. Yeah, he pulls it down, now he's going to run. Nobody near him, 20, 15, he'll slide and give himself up at about the 16-yard line. That's the difference in this game so far, is Bates, when everything breaks down, runs away. Now there's a flag down back at the 36-yard line. That could change everything.
Yeah, that's typically where a hold would be called. Let's see if the Timberview Wolves got a little handsy that time.
That is huge.
Yeah, that's a true game changer. That's going to go from 1st and 10 to now they're going to tack 10 on from the spot.
They will push this thing back to the 44-yard line. So the 10-yard penalty is going to make this now 3rd down and 22.
Typically what we've seen this year against this quick Longview defense, teams have liked to screen. Some have run draws against this on these type of downs.
They need the 22 for the first down. Shepard coming, can't get there. Throw deep into double coverage. There's contact, no flag. Longview very lucky on what looked like potentially pass interference. Looked like maybe Curry in the back of Evans, no call, 4th down.
I really think the receiver kind of quit on the play, to be honest. The back judge had an excellent view of what was happening that time. So did the side judge. it almost looked like the receiver let up is why the contact happened on what appeared to be an uncatchable ball.
All right, well, what was first down at the 16-yard line wiped out by the holding penalty, and instead we're going to have our first punt for the Wolves today. Willie Nelson's back at his 6-yard line.
I mean, Mr. Excitement?
Punter Tyler Stramila, he is back at about the 40, and we're going to have a timeout beforehand with 31 seconds left to play in the half. That'll be the second one for the Wolves, as they have one left. Lobos have 2 timeouts left. Now they're going to be going into the wind no matter where they get the football. They will have the ball to start the second half.
Which they'll be going into the wind.
Which they will be going into the wind as well. But you got 2 timeouts, and Michael Fields, we know, is a pretty good kicker. Now, I don't know if with the wind in his face, 40 yards is reasonable. 35 is probably realistic.
Well, it'll be interesting to see here. If you're the Lobos, you can run into the kicker because there's so much yardage. You might even get away with a roughing. So you may decide to send more people this time.
Would a roughing not give him an automatic first down?
I think that's personal foul,
Yeah.
so you probably get – but you can definitely run into the kicker here.
Well, Nelson's back at the 10. He would be looking at a 90-yard return if he catches it there. Here's the snap. It's on the money. They don't really come after him. And this punt with the wind behind it is going to get to the other side of the field and go out of bounds at the 5-yard line. That's a good punt. Stramilia hit that perfectly. It'll be first down Lobos at the 5 with 23 seconds left to play in the half.
Yeah, they had Garrett back. They didn't have Willie actually back that time. Garrett just decoyed away from it. I wonder if that was a conscious decision. We're not going to let Willie.
Well, with 23 seconds, I think sometimes you gamble and sometimes you play for the last 24 minutes of this game. I think John King just made a pretty good decision. I'm going to bank on the 24 minutes and don't want to lose it in the 23 seconds. So first down at the 5-yard line. And tight formation.
Yeah,
Lobos looking
like
they'll just take a knee, and in fact, Jordan Allen does. And unless Timberview takes a timeout, we're going to head to the locker room tied up at 14. Well, number 1 and number 2, it's been a half worthy of the billing. Regional finals here in Region 2 of 5A Division 1, and so far both sides' fans have gotten their money's worth. Penalties, we said early on, both these teams are a little bit subject to penalties. Penalties really hurt Timberview on the Longview drive that gave them their second touchdown of this game.
Yes, and so we'll be hanging around for the band here momentarily. Remind you to stay with us. We're going to take a little break here. Frank's nodding his head.
We're going to take a break, so I'll tell you what, we'll do that. You're watching Longview ISD's presentation of Lobo football.
At Longview ISD, STEAM is all about education with purpose, discovering science, investigating technology, exploring engineering, creating through arts, and making math totally awesome. Longview ISD STEAM schools inspire and provide students with the knowledge and skills they'll need for their futures. Learn more about STEAM at chooselisd.org. Longview ISD, education with purpose.
The Timberview Wolf Marching Band and the Celebrity Drill Team. And now, ladies and gentlemen, taking the field for your halftime entertainment, please welcome the pride of the Wolfpack, the award-winning Celebrities Drill Team. celebrities are celebrating 18 years of tradition, pride, and excellence. The celebrities would like to invite all Timberview fans out to the THS Dance Department Talent Holidays Dance Recital on December 12th at 6 p.m. in the THS Auditorium. The 2022-2023 Celebrity Dance Officers are Senior Lieutenant Michaela Benz, Senior Lieutenant Jada Anderson, and your Captain, Miss Brianna Randall. Celebrity Social Committee members are Faith Dooku and Anaí Camargo. Tonight, the celebs will perform a prom routine from their upcoming Talent Holidays recital. Here's Hot Chocolate. Let's hear it again for the award-winning celebrities. The celebs are under the direction of Bettina Hawkins and assistant Alexandria Lehman. Special thanks to the Celebrity Booster Club and Timberview administration for their support. Ladies and gentlemen, for your halftime entertainment, Timberview High School proudly presents the Timberview High School Wolf Band. Welcome to December, and to get you into the holiday spirit, the Timberview Band will perform the 1957 Bobby Helms classic, Jingle Bell Rock. have been singing Na 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 to this classic rock and roll tune. Get ready to turn back time and transport yourself back to a land of 1,000 dances. And clap your hands to the mighty Wolf Fight Song! Section of the week is the drum majors. The Wolf Band member of the week is Santos Perez. The Wolf Band is under the field direction of drum majors Caitlin Pena, Sergio Betancourt, and Musa Ogega. The Wolf Band directors are Eric Mullins, Peyton Lee, Daniel Niemeyer, and Celestino Sosa. The principal of Timberview High School is Daryl Douglas. Associate principals are Wendell Hubert and Ruben Molinar. Assistant principals are Clifford Singles, Haley Mahan, Andrew Mark, Bonnie Murray, and Janelle Tanner. The Fine Arts Director for Mansfield ISD is Dr. Garbert Johnson. The Timberview Band wants to say, Go Wolves! Beat the Lobos!
May Moore, senior lieutenant Hannah Torres, junior lieutenant Emily Joel, and in the sector, your captain, senior Haley Pittman. The Buettes will now entertain you with their stunning skirt routine to Feel This Moment. Spirit Committee members this year are Senior President Ellie Wood, Senior Tim Brown, Senior Diana Dominguez, Junior Sarah Wood, and Junior Captain Amelia Bailey. The Buettes are under the direction of Mrs. Vivian Gowan and assisted by Mrs. Meg Lawrence. And now, the 2022 Longview High School Majorettes are performing dance floor routine 2, Here Come the Lobos. Ladies and gentlemen, under the full direction of drum majors Ashton Rivera and Caitlin Clendenin, the Longview Independent School District is proud to present the award-winning Longview High School Lobo Band. This is the Big Green Marching Machine. where they offer outfitters a Lone County McDonald's restaurant. Peter Chevrolet, Buick Chrysler Tucson.
Welcome to the Lovo store. Here in the Lovo store, 100% of the proceeds from the sale of the merchandise goes back to the Lovo football team. Also, we are run by volunteers who love Lovo Nation.
We carry toddler sizes through adult 6X and have a variety of merchandise for sale throughout the football season. We are located inside the athletic office on Hawkins Parkway behind the football stadium. Come see us and support your team.
Go Lobos!
Are you ready to get into teaching at Longview ISD? We're an innovative school district with modern campuses, high-tech teaching tools, and a challenging and diverse curriculum. Longview ISD proudly recognizes and rewards teaching excellence and offers professional growth and a generous salary and benefits package. But the number one reason to become a teacher at Longview ISD is this. Join our team today. Longview ISD, education with purpose.
All right, welcome back. 14-14 ball game. We're getting ready for half number 2. And let's talk about the stats of the first half. We'll start with Mansfield Timberwolves. They had 13 first downs, 121 rushing yards, 109 passing yards. That's 230 total yards of offense. 3 penalties for 45 yards. They were 6 of 8 on third down conversion attempts. Longview with 7 first downs, 59 rushing yards, just 5 passing yards. Lobos had 3 penalties for 25 yards. Longview 2 of 3 on third downs.
Yeah, Longview was able to get them into some second, third, and longs, but the escapability of the quarterback was really more than the Lobos were prepared for, to be honest.
And got lucky there was a penalty on the Wolves on a potential third down run that would have set up a first down at the 16. Reed had 16 carries, 74 yards for Timberview Wolves. Bates had 2 carries for 30 yards. Zurich Holmes 2 for 13. For Longview, Taylor Tatum 9 carries, 51 yards, 2 touchdowns. Elijah Johnson 4 carries for 16 yards. So that's where we are at the end of the first half of play. Well, you want to be a regional champion, it's going to come down to the last 24 minutes of this ball game. The 1 and 2 teams in the state of Texas battling here at Mesquite Memorial. Chuck, Zach, and Tony Kirk with you. A couple of news announcements that happened today that affect Longview either directly or indirectly. First of all, Haynes King has decided to enter the transfer portal. He is leaving Texas A&M and will look for another place to play football. And Rickland Holmes at Tyler High School for the longest time has decided that he is done as head coach. All right, we're ready for half number 2. Emma Young with the short kick. Lobos will grab that at the 32-yard line. And off to the races, Elijah Johnson, the 50, and into Wolf territory for Longview. They'll mark him down at the 40-yard line, and that's a way to start the second half.
One of the bright spots throughout the night for the Lobos has been that their kick return team has set them up in great field position all 3 times, and so you got to give the Lobos credit on that. Once again, they set the table with a very short field here to start the second half.
Well, Elijah Johnson grabbed that at the 35, took it for 25 yards to the 40-yard line of Mansfield Timberview, and we're in business to start this second half. Jordan Allen at quarterback on first down to the ground. Taylor Tatum makes a nice cut and bulls to the 35-yard line for a gain of 5. Helmet came off, which means he's going to have to come out for a play.
Yeah, it's not unusual for him to step off anyway after a first down and 5 like that. Similar play they ran in the first half on the very first drive. That time they had him on the left side, ran him to the right. That time they brought him back out of the slot, put him on the right side of the quarterback, ran him to the left side.
Angel Ramos checking in for Longview. Their offensive line, Fernando Longoria, Jacoby Watts, Tavion Morgan, Martin Guerrero, Jax Norman. They're going to be asked to push a little more in this second half. DK Reese, Jalen Hale split out to the right. Handoff Elijah Johnson. Johnson for 2, 3.5. They'll stop him at about the 32.5-yard line, and it's going to bring up third down and 1.5 yards.
Well, deja vu all over again. Very similar to an opportunity they had near the end of the first half where they chose to go to the air. We talked about the option the offensive coordinator had. They decided to throw the ball to Jalen Hale on a little screen. Unfortunately, it backfired on them. probably the one play they'd like to have back from the first half.
Ramos comes out of the game. Taylor Tatum back in. They'll go I formation on 3rd down and 2. Just starting the second half of play. Handoff to Tatum. Gets the first down across the 30 and to the 28-yard line with a shifty cut at the 30-yard line.
After what we talked about prior to the snap, no surprise they said, let's just go get the first down and move the chains.
First and 10 at the 28-yard line.
Ramos back in the ball game.
Tatum comes out after the one carry. They're really in and outing him. One carry in, one carry out. Elijah Johnson on first down now will be the lone back. Single coverage on Hale. Handoff Johnson to the 25, 24-yard line. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6 coming up.
Good, solid first down play. Positive yards, looks like about a 4-yard, almost 5-yard gain that time for Johnson. Tatum, one of the things you see is they don't keep him in the block very often. Reese is going to step off. They're going to keep Ramos out there in a power set. May come back out in the eye here.
They really are shifting these two people in and out. It's Tatum in, Reese out. Reese comes back in, Tatum out. Tatum going to line up in the slot this time.
Yep, they're going to go all the way out wide with him. No, they got him in the slot. That's Hale there.
2nd down and 6, back to pass. They're looking for Tatum. Corner end zone, hands up, got the ball. Touchdown Longview, his 3rd touchdown of the day. This one through the air, and the Lobos go on top 20-14 with 9:21 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Versatile player, outstanding pattern he ran that time. Hale had it waiting on him when he made the break, and Tatum did a great job. Didn't have a whole lot of room there to haul it in, but had just enough, catches it, shows it to the official, I've got it clean, and then put 6 on the board right away.
9:21 to play in the 3rd. Lobos 40 yards after the kickoff return. Thank you, Elijah Johnson. Here's Fields on for the point after. Michael slams that one in. That's 71 in a row he has made this year. 21-14 with 9:21 to play in the 3rd. We'll take a timeout. We're coming right back as you're watching Longview ISD's presentation of Lobo football.
Are you ready to get into teaching at Longview ISD? We're an innovative school district with modern campuses, high-tech teaching tools, and a challenging and diverse curriculum. Longview ISD proudly recognizes and rewards teaching excellence and offers professional growth and a generous salary and benefits package. But the #1 reason to become a teacher at Longview ISD is this. Join our team today. Longview ISD, education with purpose.
All right, welcome back. 5 plays, 40 yards, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Longview with the go-ahead touchdown. By the way, Longview ISD wants to give special thanks to Orr Cadillac GMC for their support of Lobo football. All right.
Montenavis gets ready to kick again.
And indeed, he boomed from this side of the field. The first 2 out of the end zone. This one is number 3, and it'll be the 25-yard line for the Wolves of Mansfield Timberview. The number 2 team in the state now trails the number 1 team in the state by 1 score.
We'll see if this Lobo defense makes some adjustments here, particularly in their ability to stop Bates. Bates only had the 30 yards. He had another one taken off the board by a penalty, but his ability to move sticks on 3rd down has been important tonight.
All right, Bates back in there at quarterback. Cameron Bates, the junior quarterback. He's wearing number 3. He's got Jarvis Reed to his left. First down, handoff, Reed right up the middle, 5 yards. They'll stop him there. Well, let's see, we're going to go whistle or not. They keep letting them play on. This is just becoming a rugby match. At some point in time, forward progress had to be stopped at about the 30-yard line. Instead, they give them 8 more yards as those 300-pounders just push the Lobos for 8 more.
Somebody's going to have to get down there low and take those legs away. You can't let him continue to churn while he's getting all that push from his O-line.
13-yard gain on what looked like a 5-yard gain. First down and 10, 38-yard line. 8:52 left to play in the 3rd. How about another one? Handoff to Reed again. This time, Lobos hanging on. They're trying to make sure no lineman can push, although they still move them forward for 2 to the 40-yard line.
A little better that time. Boone got down there around the ankles and was able to bring him down.
Defensively, the Lobos have Billy Smith, Omarion Watkins, who's coming out right now, Ethan Pulte, Zarius Shepard, Jeremiah Rougeley, Caden Brooks, Tadarian Boone, Chase Smith are the linebackers. Safeties are Buda Garrett, Willie Nelson. Corners are J.K. Curry and Jaden Simmons. 2nd down and 8. Handoff again, stretch left. Reed's got a blocker in the secondary, and he's off to the races. Lobos are not going to dive and stop him. No, he got all the way in. He fell in at the end on the defender, Buda Garrett, and that's going to be the touchdown, and it took them all of 3 plays. They go 75 yards, and they're a point after try away from tying it up.
Adjustments were made. Unfortunately, this time it looked like the adjustment was made by Mansfield Timberview as they got their back to the outside. We talked about it, you and I, on the way up here. They really like to run outside. That's their preference. We didn't think they'd be able to do it against Longview, but they broke a big one there.
Reed with the touchdown from 60 yards away. Point after try is good. And we are quickly, with 8:01 left to play, going to be back on offense. 21 all. A fast-moving second half. We'll take a break. We're coming right back. You are watching Longview ISD's presentation of Lobo football.
The smartest choice you can make for your child's future is Longview ISD. Longview schools go beyond the traditional to offer a complete education, creating lifelong learners. Longview ISD empowers your child to take on the world, from their first day of school to graduation, and prepares them for whatever career they may choose, offering all the benefits of private education without the cost. Educate yourself and choose Longview ISD.
All right, welcome back. Longview ISD wants to give special thanks to Excel ER for their support of Lobos football. 8:01 left to play, 21 apiece.
2 big plays here to start second half. For the Lobos, it was the kick return. For the Wolves, it was the long run around the left side.
All right, Young on to kick again. If you didn't hear this story, number 87 for the Wolves is a young lady, Emma Young. Here's her kick. She's been doing all the kicking duty. This time they go squib kick. Back to Elijah Johnson. This time the Wolves do a better job of stopping him up. He'll get to the 40, but this time it's the Lobo 40 and not the Wolves 40.
Last time they got a picket fence set up here to the near side. That time, little squib kick. He had to field it up and really take what was there. And still excellent field position as it has been every time post a Timberview kick.
The Lobos will start at the 42-yard line. Tied at 21. It's been that kind of game, back and forth. Nobody's had more than a 1-score lead this entire evening. All right, Lobos back on offense. He'll start in the I. Taylor Tatum, the deep back. He'll get the handoff. He makes a cut at the 40-yard line, 45-50. He's off to the races. You can do it, Reed. I can do it too. Tatum all the way to the end zone. How about the Lobos' 58-yard run? He answers Jarvis Reed, and the Lobos go up by after one play. And there is a flag down back at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, it may have been extracurriculars. They had to break up a couple of players there, so I don't know if this is post-score or if this is during the play. We're going to have to get some clarification from this officiating crew. It looked like it happened behind the play, but we'll see if it's called a dead ball or live ball foul. John King's partially out on the field seeking an explanation right now for the officials are talking it over, and I think they're talking about scenario. When did he cross the goal line? When did this occur?
It looks like it's not going to be a touchdown. Sean Larry, 14, is lobbying for the Wolves, but nobody's gone down to the 2-yard line. Here comes the call. I got the touchdown call, Bart.
Personal foul, I believe, on the defense. That means they're going to assess that on the kickoff, I suspect.
Well, I sure what, Sean Larry was sure lobbying like it was the other direction. He was wrong. So Taylor Tatum goes from 58 yards away, and Michael Fields is on for the point after try. Well, that didn't take long. How about an 8-second run of 58 yards?
Looks like we're going to hear from the official again. But
Touchdown's good.
Yeah, he's reiterated the fact that the score was good. That time, and we talk about an adjustment, Mansfield Timberview had a bunch of guys in the box, and there wasn't anybody back when he broke loose.
Point after by Fields is good, 28-21. We got a barn burner here at Mesquite Memorial. Lobos up by 7. We'll take a break. We're going to come right back. You are watching Longview ISD's presentation of Lobo football.
I'm just a product of Longview and LASD. They want their students to be successful, to get good grades, to feel safe, and focus on what's important. LASD has just countless opportunities that's just integral in grounding a student and allowing them to fulfill their potential. LASD has just really prepared me in that I feel I'm a very well-rounded person. I know I'll be able to do amazing things, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without Longview ISD.
Longview ISD wants to give special thanks for their support of Lobo football to Godarzi and Young. All right, 7:42 left. It looks like that penalty was not on the Wolves, but instead on the Lobos as they marked them back 15 yards to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, we didn't get clarification that it was a dead ball call. Obviously it is now clarified that because they've stepped off 15 against the Lobos, it happened after the score, and so that's why it's being assessed on them on the kickoff. It's going to be tough here. It's going to require a lot from this coverage team.
And John Monsaveas to do the kicking now. And he tries to boom this one as well. It's going to come down to the 14-yard line. That is Titus Evans. He'll get it out to the 32, 33-yard line. Lobos do a nice job on kick coverage considering how far they had to go. It'll only be the 33-yard line for the Wolves.
One of the strong suits of this team this year has been kick coverage. That time they do it well, and in a tough circumstance, I promise you, if you had asked the Longview staff before that kick, you're going to be able to hold them to their own 32 after you've had 15 marked off against you. They said, yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah, no question. It really, at the end of the day, it cost them 8 yards, 7 yards. Ball's at the 32-yard line. First down and 10. 7:36 left to play in the third quarter. Cameron Bates, the handoff, and now off to the races again. This time it's the second back. That's Madison, Javion Madison, who breaks for about 9. And it's going to be second down and 1.
Madison really only got one series in the first half. You talked about they'd split the carries during the season. During this game, it's mostly been Reed.
So 9 yards for Madison, second down and 1 yard at the 42-yard line. No, I actually gave him the full 10. They gave him the 10. So it's first down. Another handoff to Madison. This time he's stopped. He barely gets the line of scrimmage. Rugeley's hanging on, so is Boone. And it'll be Watkins that'll drop him for even more yardage backward. But the thing stood up at about the 42-yard line.
Well, I'm sure Watkins was doing what the coaches said after seeing what Reed's been able to do. Get down low on him, take the legs away. You won't get that push. That time Boone measured him early, pushed him back, kept the gain to a minimal.
6:45 and counting here in the third. 28-21 Lobos with the lead. This is the regional final. You win, you go to the state semis next week. Cameron Bates handing off again. This time it's Reed back in there, and Reed gets hit. Tell you what, it's a nice game that's going on for Caden Brooks today, who again got in the backfield. He held him to about a 2-yard gain, but it's going to bring up third down and 7.
Two of the better back-to-back run stops this Lobo team has put together here tonight. They have struggled to put back-to-back plays together. Let's see if they can string 3 together. Got to be a little worried about Bates once again and how he uses his feet in this game.
Yeah, that's a big play right now for the Lobo defense. Can they come up with a way to contain number 3? Third down and 7, 45-yard line. Bates back to pass, blitz coming. He gets away from 1, can't get away from 2. For the first time tonight, the Lobos get a sack. It's Zarius Shepard that falls on top of him, and it's going to be fourth down.
Yeah, they chose to send 5 that time. The extra rusher was number 32, Brooks on the far side. He occupied the left tackle, that allowed someone to cut in underneath him, and that's where the pressure came from.
That is sack number 68 on the season for the Lobos.
Get your popcorn ready. It's Willie Nelson time.
Willie is the deep man. We got a short man as well. Buda Garrett's playing at about the 45-yard line, just in case. Here's the punt, and it's not very long. Down at the 45, takes a Lobo bounce and another one, and comes back to the 45-yard line. Holy cow. That's a 7-yard punt. And Longview's back in business with 5:02 left to play in the third.
Well, we've talked about throughout the evening, the wind is coming out of that end. He kicked it into the wind, then it just took a bad bounce back towards their line of scrimmage. And to be honest, the Wolves were a little slow to react to it, and somebody finally got a hand on it, but it wasn't until it was a 7-yard punt as you described.
Lobos back in business. First and 10, 45-yard line, 5:02 left. Handoff Taylor Tatum, breaks a tackle, goes forward for 2, maybe 3, second down and 8.
What I was going to say before the snap, single coverage on both wideouts. Once again, those safeties have creeped really far into the box. We saw that earlier when Tatum broke to the outside. There was just nobody back there to really get a good angle on him. We'll see if they look at that and maybe come back with a similar play this time.
And keep your eyes on this. With 4:30 and some change left, the wind is at the Lobos' backs for the next 4.5 minutes. After that, they go back into that wind. You'd like to have a 2-score lead before that change. Handoff to Elijah Johnson. Boy, he broke a tackle, another one, and just powers his way across the 35 to the 34 and a first down.
We see it every week. He's one of those that can churn the legs. You cannot just bring him down with initial contact. That time he broke forward, big first down. Even though they've got the win, you kind of get a sense they're going back to the old let's grind it out.
First and 10, 34-yard line. Again, Johnson, a couple of yards to maybe the 31-yard line. He stood up there after the gain of about 2, maybe 3. Chance Reddick Woods on the tackle.
Similar to basketball, when you keep feeding that hot shooter, Johnson, who once again comes up limping a little bit, he's a hot back right now. He may have to come out. Looks like they're going to send 44 in. Ramos back in. They're all right. They still got that number 2 out there. He'll walk it off.
Yeah, he comes over to the bench. He's in some obvious discomfort as he heads to the bench. Trainer getting over there to deal with him. Of course, his Lobo training staff, outstanding. Deidre Scotter, Jeanette Herrera, Justin Rivers, Alicia Simmons. Handoff to Tatum on second down. Crosses the 30-yard line, 29. Ball popped out, but it was as he went down to the ground. And it's going to be third down for the Lobos. Dylan Battle was the one who body slammed Taylor at the 29-yard line.
Yeah, they got him held up. Now we got a 3rd and 5. This will be an interesting play call. We remind you, they got 2 downs to go get it. We also remind you, limited time left with this win. If you're going to make Jalen Hell a factor, you might want to do so in the next 3 minutes. Checking in is going to be
Brendan
Reese for the first time tonight, I believe.
Yeah, he's coming in as a fullback. All right, different formation this time. Reese in, he's actually the tailback to the right of Allen. Hale's the man in motion. Rolling and throwing. Allen looking. No, he's going to pump. Keeps it. Trying to get to the first down. Looks like he got it, and he's tackled well out of bounds. But no flags come in. First down, Lobos at around the 23-yard line.
Yeah, might have justified another flag over there as he drove him out of bounds a long way. Either way, Allen doing something he doesn't do a lot of. Takes off, picks up the first down that time. Elijah Johnson's back in. He's going to try to go here.
They needed 5. He got them 7. First down, 2:18. Clock stops when he went out of bounds. DK Reese checking out. Elijah Johnson back into the game at fullback. Hale's going to split out wide left. He's got Jordan Sanders in his face. Handoff, Tatum. 20-yard line and leans forward, and that's all he's getting. Helmet comes off again, and that's Taylor again that loses his hat.
Little hesitation that time by Taylor. Typically, that'll work to his advantage. He'll hesitate, find that hole, take off. This is a big, quick defense here. we talk about 64. He goes both ways. The big center on the offense plays nose on the defense. He's played a lot of snaps tonight.
Well, they started to bring Kelvin Washington in, but Boozy stays on the sideline. DK Reese back in. 1:55, the clock stopped, and now they restarted it.
Play clock's down to 7.
Yep, took a long time to get settled. Better hurry up here. 3, 2, and they get it snapped. Allen gonna keep this himself as he moves left. Got a blocker, and we got a flag. This one's gonna be coming back. Flag down at the 18-yard line.
Yeah, that time, a guy who really made some good plays in the first half, 81 there, Derricksburg, got the end, came in on him. I don't know if they're going to call a chop or if they're going to call that a hold. We'll call it a hold.
Yeah, Sterensburg gets hit with the hold, so instead of 1st and goal, it's going to bring up 2nd down and a lot. They'll mark this back to around the 29-yard line. So spot foul on that. 2nd down, they get a 1st down at the 12, so 2nd and 17's coming up.
Now, if you're John King, you got to be thinking, if I end up with a field goal situation, I want to kick that field goal before the end of this 3rd quarter. You may consider using a timeout here.
Yeah, it's still a pretty long kick right now. You're talking about a 46-yarder, and they do take a timeout.
That's not when you want to take it, but at the same time, you only got a minute 20 and time left with the win.
All right, we'll take a timeout as well. 28-21 our score, 120 to play in the 3rd quarter. We'll be right back. You're watching Longview ISD's presentation of Lobo football.
An international baccalaureate diploma from Longview ISD can open a world of opportunity for your student. Longview ISD's IB program is a challenging alternative to traditional curriculums with a high rate of acceptance by top-tier universities. Success-oriented IB students achieve high academic standards and are prepared to help build a better world. Learn more about our international baccalaureate program at chooselisd.org. Longview ISD, education with purpose. At Longview ISD, STEAM is all about education with purpose, discovering science, investigating technology, exploring engineering, creating through arts, and making math totally awesome. Longview ISD STEAM schools inspire and provide students with the knowledge and skills they'll need for their futures. Learn more about STEAM at chooselisd.org.
All right, welcome back. 1:20 left to play in the 3rd. 2nd down long. Allen with the pass caught by Derricksburg, and he will step out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Short gain about 5 yards, but it makes 3rd down manageable now.
Yeah, I wish he had got out of bounds. He didn't do so. I wish under those circumstances he would have gotten out of bounds. Does not do so, but he gets part of it back. And so right now you're looking to get 5 to 7 yards in order to have a legitimate shot at it on 4th down.
All right, so 3rd down, clock rolling, 45 seconds. They got plenty of time. There's 14 on the play clock, so even if this play stays in the field of play, they'll have time to come on and kick a field goal. Hale in motion, 3rd and 11. Fake the handoff, flag again. Pass on the way, that's caught by Hale at the 15, but he's way short of the 1st down. But there's a flag down again back at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, and that's going to give John King a moment to consider what his options are here. Obviously, if it's against the Lobos, that's problematic. If it's against them, you get a do-over. Looks like it's going to be on the Lobos.
Yep. 26 seconds are left now. These two teams, which we mentioned earlier, penalties have been problems for both of them all year. Not as bad as normal, or at least as last year for the Lobos. But they're going to move back 5 yards after 2 men look like in motion maybe at the same time, and they put them back to the 28-yard line.
And if you're the Lobos, you may want to be up and ready to go as the clock's restarted. They're not going to be.
No.
Well, here if you don't, and it looks like they're only going to get one play in here before the end of the 3rd quarter.
3rd down and 16, 28-yard line. Johnson splitting way out. They're trying to set up a screen in the middle. It's caught Darrensburg, and he got tackled at the 20-yard line, fell forward to about the 18, but that will end the third quarter, and it'll bring up a fourth down, and John King's going to have something to think about when they flip sides of the field. 28-21's our score through 3 quarters. We're going to go to the other side. We'll take a break and get ready for quarter number 4. You are watching Longview Lobo football, courtesy of Longview ISD.
Are you ready to get into teaching at Longview ISD? We're an innovative school district with modern campuses, high-tech teaching tools, and a challenging and diverse curriculum. Longview ISD proudly recognizes and rewards teaching excellence and offers professional growth and a generous salary and benefits package. But the #1 reason to become a teacher at Longview ISD is this. Join our team today. Longview ISD, education with purpose.
Longview ISD wants to give special thanks to Noble Roofing for their support of Lobo football. Well, we're through 3 quarters, regional final, and it has been worth the price of admission. 28-21, the top-ranked Lobos over the second-ranked Wolves of Mansfield Timberview, and we're down to the last 12 minutes. And here you come. This is exactly what we were talking about. You want the win for this kick. They didn't do it with the win. So now Michael Fields is going to have to come on a 4th and 7. They're going to ask him to try to kick about a 37-yard field goal to make it a 2-score game. Snap is on the way. Hold is good. Kick has got the leg, and he hits it. Michael Fields into the wind from 36 yards away, and the Lobos take a 31-21 lead on the first play of the 4th quarter, and that is humongous.
Looks like we're going to stay here. Let's talk about the importance of a 2-score lead at this point. You're down into a quarter to go. You and I talked at the half. I said Lobos may have to score every possession in the second half. Right now, we'll see if they can do that. You don't always have to get a touchdown, but by getting those 3 points, even if they give up a touchdown here, they still have a lead.
Well, you said they got to score in every possession. They scored on their first one. They scored on their second one. They kicked the field goal on their third one. Just what the professor ordered.
Well, I think it's important. This is a good offensive ball club in Timberview. I would not have thought I would ever say that in a Lobo game this year, as good as this defense is.
9 plays, 26 yards. Took 5 minutes to go the 26 yards, but it resulted in the 36-yard field goal for Michael Fields. And so here we go. Kickoff time. Montevea's kicking this one to the 22-yard line. Knee goes down, and that is where the Wolves will start with 11:55 to play in this 4th and final quarter.
Yeah, he got a fair catch up, so he's going to get it on the 25, even though the knee went down on the 22.
All right, well, they'll put him at the 25, then they pick up an extra 3 yards.
We saw the defense finally force Timberview to turn it over on downs last time. We'll see if they've got another one of those in there. You mentioned early in the broadcast tonight how good this defense has been in the second half, particularly limiting the other team's scoring in the second half.
By the way, Longview ISD wants to give special thanks to the folks over at Texana Bank for their support of Lobo football. 11:55 to play in the game. Bates back in there at quarterback, handoff inside, and there's that Lobo defense. They stand up, and there's a loss on the play as Reed goes backward after a yard. 2nd down and 11.
Looks like they shot a linebacker that time on a run blitz. Didn't want to play him on the heels, so they brought the pressure between the tackles. They're going to go back to the 25 here. Let's see. Well, no, they marked it just inside the 25 where the initial contact was made.
Hats off to John Berry, the DC of the Lobos. He's trying to keep this thing right where it is, a 10-score game. 2nd down, Bates back to pass. He's got a man middle of the field, in and out of the hands of the intended target. And that one was right on the money 13 for them is Tyler Madison. He's a sophomore wide receiver, but he dropped that one, and now it's going to be 3rd down.
Well, we talked about in the first half, their receivers played flawless in this first half. They really did. They did a great job getting open. A couple times they made adjustments on footballs. Finally had a drop. We'll see if that results in a 3 and out.
Boy, the Lobo crowd is ramped up. 3rd down, 10 and a half. All three, well, 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Bates has 1 back with him. Watch him trying to run. Instead, he dumps it off, caught by Reed. Boy, he made a great move. They're trying to give Chase, and Chase Smith will catch him, but not till he gets to the 38-yard line. He made a great move on Boone. If you paid attention to that, he acted like he was going out to the flat on the sideline and made a cut back to the middle of the field, and he lost to Darian and gets it all the way down to the 38.
They're going fast.
Back to pass, Bates launching one up sideline, a little too much with that wind behind him, and Titus Evans can't catch up to it.
And they may have been fortunate he overthrew him. If that ball is where the receiver can catch it, I'm not so sure it wasn't where Willie Nelson can catch it. And we've got a Timberview player down on the far side, so we're going to get a timeout. That's going to slow their offense down.
Comes with 10:55 left to play in the game. 2nd down and 10 coming up. Can't emphasize how big that play was by Jarvis Reed. They just made a great move, a little stop and start move. And he lost the defender, and then he's just wide open middle of the field. Chase Smith did a great job running him down and stopping that from going all the way to the house.
As you said, he kind of leaked out, looked like he was just simply going to go out into the flat as a safety valve, then turned upfield just behind the spy to where he could throw over the top. It's almost as if they drew that one up at the half.
Yeah. By the way, Longview ISD wants to give special thanks to Buddy's Home Furnishings for their support of Lobo football. 10:55 left to play. 31-21 Lobo lead. The winner, well, they're going to have to wait till tomorrow evening to find out if it's going to be Aledo or if it's going to be Burleson Centennial. The Spartans of Burleson Centennial or the Bearcats of Aledo. 2nd down, Bates back to pass. He's trying to go forward. Lobo's got him. Sacked back at the 41-yard line. Great. And that's Jordan. That's I'm trying to see if that's Shepard that got him. I think it may be Shepard that got him again. If not, it was Jordan Wright. Couldn't tell 55 or 65. I think it was 65. That was Wright that got him.
I'll tell you what, it all came down to containment. They never lost containment. Allowed the rusher from the backside to come and get him from behind in traffic. Great job. See if they keep the containment this play.
Another 3rd down, 3rd and 12. This is 4 down time now, though. Pass, a rush coming. They complete the ball, but right back to the line of scrimmage only. Lobo defense got all over that little scat back wide receiver, Tyler Madison, and it's going to bring up 4th down and 12.
I kind of sense Coach Brown thinks he can't give the Lobos the ball back at this point. I think he's going to go for it on this 4th down and long.
Yep, the clock's running on him. His season's got 9:51 if he can't get a couple scores. And here on 4th down and 12, we may be at the most important play of the game.
And once again, I'm preaching containment if I'm the Lobos.
Well, Lobo's ready to come. Here they come. Bates has time. He delivers. Oh, it's behind the receiver and almost picked off by Curry, who was the closest one to it. It doesn't matter. 4th down, incomplete pass, and Longview's going to get the football back at the 40-yard line.
Great field position. I think Bates just felt rushed. He thought pressure was coming. He may have had a little longer moment than he considered to get his feet set, but that one took off like his feet wasn't set under him.
And let's do this. Zurich Humes hadn't played since the first quarter. These guys split time. They put this whole thing on Bates, and I think these two quarterbacks, by splitting possessions, get a chance to kind of see what's out there. This has all been on Bates, and he's not looked as good in this second half.
Well, I agree, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he hasn't been able to get out of the pocket and do some things.
All right, 1st down, 10 Lobos, 9:31 left. Up by 10, trying to put this thing to bed. Taylor Tatum across the 45 to the 42. How about a 1st down for the Lobos as he rumbles for 17?
They just split the middle that time. Old I formation play. Reed, find the hole, hit it fast. That's what the I formation does. It allows that deep back to see where the crease is and then hit that extra gear.
Well, you can feel the enthusiasm, the momentum, the crowd just kind of carrying this thing right now. There's very few people sitting down.
Go back to a power formation here. They bring the tight end in, take the wide out. They'll go in the gun. They'll have Tatum to start in the slot.
8:52 left to play. Tatum comes back into the backfield. They'll hand him the ball right up the middle again, across the 40 to the 38-yard line. Touchdown matters huge. Field goal still keeps it a 2-score game. Touchdown makes it a 3-score game.
Great trap play that time, just an old-fashioned trap play. 2 or 3 times in that they've brought him back into the backfield. We didn't see that a lot during the year. That's a new wrinkle where they bring him back in and run a trap out of that with the 2 backs in the backfield.
Goes for about 4, 2nd down and 6. Handoff again. Tatum again across the 35. He should have the first down near the 32-yard line. He's got 145 yards before that carry.
Kind of sense they're wearing down that defense a little bit from Timberview. We saw this in the Lancaster game earlier in the year. Lancaster was game for 3 quarters, and then they just begin to wear on them.
7:57 left. Taylor Tatum now, 17 carries, 151 yards, 3 touchdowns.
A little slow getting the play in here.
They've still got 3, 2, 1 on the play clock. Get it off. Same play again to Tatum. This time he's trying to break it outside and cannot as he falls forward to about the 31-yard line. That was Nathan Tillman doing all he could, number 21, to stop Tatum, who hobbles off the field after he fell down awkwardly backward.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's an ankle or anything, just kind of an awkward fall. He's going to try to get over there and walk it off. The trap just didn't work that time. They didn't sucker whoever was supposed to come in and get blown up in the hole to do so. They kept containment that time. He tried to bounce it outside, just wasn't anything there. Saw Jordan Allen go get a first down with his feet a while ago. Let's see if they consider doing that again.
2nd down and 9. Clock under 7 minutes left. Handoff, 25-yard line, and shoved out of bounds at around the 20-yard line. And again, really tackled out of bounds. Elijah Johnson. The Wolves have no problem tackling guys off the field and into the sideline. This time it was at outside linebacker. We've called his name a couple times today. That's Sean Larry, number 14.
First down is the good news.
And his body language, you can see Larry's body language not looking good. That's one of those beat looks.
Right now, Lobos are trying to impose their will upon a bewildered and tired Wolf defense.
Elijah Johnson, 9 carries, 44 yards. Hale in motion, hand it to him. He's looking to go wide. Got a good block from Johnson. Makes the 10-yard line and upended at the 5, where it'll be first down and goal.
You know who's got fresh legs? That guy's got fresh legs. He showed it on that play. Little underneath reverse play. Got the ball to him. Good lead block by Johnson. We talk about it all the time. Johnson is just so good at blocking. He's good as a receiver. He certainly can run the football.
Hale for 17, and it's first down and goal at the 4. Clock running, 6:20 and counting.
Don't look now, but touchdown Tatum just came back into the game.
Yeah, he feels all right now. He sniffed that goal line out. Hale checks out. Freddie Hawkins, number 7, is in. I formation. Handoff to Tatum. Looking for the goal line. Got the goal line. Touchdown Lobos with 6:05 left to play. 37-21. Longview with a 3-score lead. And the Taylor Tatum show continues.
TDT, he's just too much tonight. And you kind of sensed it when he came back out on the field where they were going to go. Big score. Right now, folks are starting making weekend plans if you're a Lobo. What are we going to do next weekend, I wonder?
I think we're going to be playing some football. Michael Fields' point after try. Hooked it, and for the first time this season, Fields misses a point after try. The streak ends at 71, but the lead still 16 points. It's still actually a two-score game.
Yeah, that's a big extra point.
Yep, 37-21. We'll take a break. We'll come in right back. You are watching Longview Lobo football.
An international baccalaureate diploma from Longview ISD can open a world of opportunity for your student. Longview ISD's IB program is a challenging alternative to traditional curriculums with a high rate of acceptance by top-tier universities. Success-oriented IB students achieve high academic standards and are prepared to help build a better world. Learn more about our international baccalaureate program at chooselisd.org. Longview ISD, education with purpose.
All right, welcome back. 6:05 left to play. That kick, and it was a little bit of a snap off, a little off the mark. Andrew Tutt had a little trouble getting it down, and the timing just wasn't perfect. And for the first time this season, we can say we missed a point after, and it may be a bigger play than we want to talk about because it keeps it a 37-21 or two-score game with that 6:05 left to play. Lanzaveas with the short kick. And it will be caught at the 24-yard line, and the Lobos trying to hang on, allow the return man to get to the 30. That happens with 5:59 left.
Yeah, that's one of those plays where you'd rather have that guy from the back come up and get that football than the guy going backwards to try to cover. It looks like we've got a wolf down on the field, so we'll have a momentarily stop in the action while the trainers get out to check on him. But let's go back to the missed extra point. It's hard to criticize a young man who made 71 straight. And, you know, it's more than just him. It's Tutt, it's the deep snapper. They're all very successful with that. But that one hurt a little bit to miss that one.
Yeah, let's do the drive. 7 plays, 60 yards for the Lobos to get that lead. And with that now, Taylor Tatum, 19 carries, 156 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He came into this game with 29 rushing touchdowns. That gives him 33. He came into this game with 31 total touchdowns on the season. That gives him not only the 4 he did running, but remember he caught one as well. So he's now got 36 total touchdowns this season. And his career total, if I add 5 more to it, he's now up to 48, and that ties him with Vondrell McGee, who also had 48, and that's tied for third all-time behind Caden Meredith and Fred Talley, who had 60 and 55 respectively.
Good news is Elijah Pratt is able to limp off the field under his own accord.
All right, well, there's 5:59 left. The Wolves, first down, they go back to Humes at quarterback, first time since the first quarter, and his first throw was high, and Curry, who had one of those happen on the last drive on 4th down, almost had another one. He's locking in on trying to make the tackle, and the ball came on him so fast it ended up being incomplete, but could have been an INT.
A little surprised they went back to Humes. I think this is a bit of a sign of desperation.
Or maybe Bates.
And it looks like, is Bates out there in the slot?
Yeah, Bates, who's an all-around athlete, they may be trying to get him in space. Second down and 10, 5:54 left. Low snap. Humes goes down to get it. He's in trouble. He's going down. Omarion Watkins. No, let me make sure I got that right. Was it 99 or 96? I think it's 99. It is. It's Billy Smith who gets the sack.
Give them each a sack.
No, it's Billy that time. It's so hard. We're at such a far way away. You can see the 90, but you can't get the other number. You get the first number, but not the second. But it's Billy Smith with the sack, and the Longview Lobo defense has showed up here in this second half.
Now they go back. Is that still Humes or is that Bates at quarterback?
It is Bates back at quarterback. He's looking to run. It tosses it off. It's Reed that catches the football. He's got to get to the 40 for the first. He doesn't. Knocked out of bounds at the 35.
Good job, Smith. He knew he had the sideline to help him. Didn't get squared up and let him take him out. He just kind of angled at him in such a ways to get him out. Right now, you don't want to let him get by you on the sideline. 5:04 left. 4th down. They've got no choice but to go for it.
4th and 5. Bates with that completion to Reed at least made it manageable on 4th down. Back to pass. He stumbles a little bit. He's trying to get away from defenders. They've got him, and he's short of the first down. Lobos will take it back at the 38-yard line. Chase Smith was the second defender, and he really helped to end that thing before Bates could get to the first down, but it was the speedy linebacker to Darian Boone who hung on until Chase could get there and finish it off, and the Lobos will get it back with 4:57 to play.
Great series for Boone and Smith both. That time, as you described, Boone, who'd been spying most of the time, saw him, got some help from Smith, and now it's all about moving the sticks, getting a couple of first downs and starting to salt this thing away. You need a score. You want to get down there and put another, even if it's just 3 points on the board, to salt it away. But more than anything, you want to move the sticks. You figure pretty quickly they'll start using their timeouts.
4:57 left to play. 37-21. Taylor Tatum in the eye. Will hand it to him. He's hitting the backfield and drop, no gain. Second down coming up, and a lot of extracurricular stuff starting to happen.
Yeah, Tatum company, I think it's Dardsburg, decided to get out of there. Leave that to the team that's not ahead on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Darrensburg has been kind of the fulcrum for extracurricular since his second half has begun. He's had a couple different times where he's kind of tangled up with defenders, and they're going to pull him out and let cooler heads.
Yeah, we're going to see what the officials have to say. They're going to put some more time back on the clock. The officials are trying to take control of the ball game. Took a little time to give both huddles a warning, and to do that, they've got to stop the clock. They had started the action of doing that, didn't stop the clock ahead of time, so the White Hat put some time back off, and now he'll crank it.
Yeah, 4:35 is where they'll start it, so no harm, no foul on the yard loss for Tatum.
Don't expect the Lobos to rush to the line here. They've got 20 seconds to burn off.
Really, a first down or two might just about salt this away. Wolves have all 3 timeouts, so they can shorten at least that part of the game. Second down, handoff, Tatum again. Finds a little room. He's got the 30, and he'll go forward to almost the first down. Here we go again. More of this going on. Hale lost his helmet, and he got tangled up with a defender, and now this is getting
You don't want to get tossed if you're Longview. If you get tossed in a ball game.
Yeah, an official, the White Hat, is actually down hurt. He's injured. And right now, I don't know what happened. Elijah Johnson is irate, though.
Yeah, we're not sure exactly what happened on that. We don't have replay capabilities.
The ball's very close to the first down for Tatum. He's real close to that mark, but behind him, this whole thing blew up, and the White Hat is still down injured.
Yeah, I don't even see a mark on the field.
Yeah, there's one at about the 43-yard line.
No, I'm not talking about a penalty. I'm not where they marked the ball.
A coaching staff of the Lobos trying desperately to keep everybody under control.
And the White Hat's really the only one who was back there to do that. Right now, the other referees are huddling. We had this circumstance in a game earlier this year. They have a plan in place, and they have an alternate official tonight. We talked about it before the game. They have an alternate official, so they'll move one of the other referees to the White Hat position if he can't go. Right now, they're going to have to go over and confer with the White Hat. Does he have a call on this play?
Right. Well, there is a flag down, so somebody has something. And it certainly looked like it was the extracurricular stuff. Trainer's still trying to help the head referee here, I haven't seen this, I don't think, ever.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and you know, our officials aren't as young as the players out there.
No.
And when they try to police something like this, sometimes they're in a little above their heads. And so right now, Coach King, Coach Brown talking about it, making sure that they understand to get both their teams under control here late.
Well, and you mentioned a big thing, and that was getting tossed here is implications for next week.
Yeah, could cost you next week. So we'll see if anybody's ejected. Hopefully that is not the case.
Yeah, it may not cost Timberview anything to get into a scrum right now, but it certainly could cost the Lobos if this score never changes.
Yeah.
37-21. Remember, we were tied 14 at the half. This has been a dominating second half, and the Lobos have been that way all season long with a 23-7 second half lead. Tell you what, we're going to take a quick timeout while they're looking at the referee. We'll come back here in just a second. You, of course, are watching Longview ISD's presentation of Lobo football.
Welcome to the Lobo store. Here in the Lobo store, 100% of the proceeds from the sale of the merchandise goes back to the Lobo football team. Also, we are run by volunteers who love Lobo Nation.
We carry toddler sizes through adult 6X and have a variety of merchandise for sale throughout the football season. We are located inside the athletic office on Hawkins Parkway behind the football stadium. Come see us and support your team.
Go Lobos!
At Longview ISD, STEAM is all about education with purpose, discovering science, investigating technology, exploring engineering, creating through arts, and making math totally awesome. Longview ISD STEAM schools inspire and provide students with the knowledge and skills they'll need for their futures. Learn more about STEAM at chooselisd.org. Longview ISD, education with purpose. An international baccalaureate diploma from Longview ISD can open a world of opportunity for your student. Longview ISD's IB program is a challenging alternative to traditional curriculums with a high rate of acceptance by top-tier universities. Success-oriented IB students achieve high academic standards and are prepared to help build a better world. Learn more about our international baccalaureate program at chooselisd.org. Longview ISD, education with purpose.
All right, 4:09 left to play. The good news, obviously, is the white hat is up.
Yeah, Rocky Marcinell is on his feet. Right now, he's conferring, I still think, with the medical staff from Longview. His officials have gathered around him. I still think they're trying to harvest what the call is. It looks like he may be able to continue. As we mentioned, Jamar Jones is an alternate tonight. They have an extra official here in the ballpark. But it looks like Marcinell's going to try to go.
Yeah. And you probably at the end of the day are going to have offsetting stuff. Now the question is, was there an instigator that they identified before the thing got into a full-on scrum?
And is it a dead ball post, the possession, because they were near a first down.
Right. So we got that to sort out. And I'll be honest with you now, if you're the Lobo coaching staff, you probably need to make some decisions about what guys you don't want to put out there right now, even if it's for another couple of plays. Some of the heads are a little hot right now, and you may just want to let them sit and cool it down. And not that they're the bad guy or the instigator, but you don't want them getting tossed next week.
You want them to be calm and not get into trouble, and certainly you don't want any more of this mess when you're trying to salt the ball game away.
But, this has been coming. We've seen it the entire fourth quarter. It got chippier and chippier as the quarter went. And remember, we're talking about two teams who hadn't lost this year.
Yes.
And that somebody's season's going to end in the next 4 minutes. And neither one want that.
You know what I call these games? Crying games. Because at the end of the game, somebody's going to cry. And right now, the frustration on the Timberview team seems to be bubbling over. It got a little ugly behind the play. I'm sure there was some trash talk going on that may have inflamed it a little more, but you just don't need this.
All right, so they're sorting out, and players are starting to move back into positions. We do see Elijah Johnson back out there again. It kind of started with Jalen Hale losing his helmet, and however that got pulled off, then it escalated from there.
Well, the first down has been awarded. That's the first news we were looking for. Let's see if there's a mark-off after that or we have offsetting penalties.
Well, we've yet to hear an announcement from anybody, and I have a feeling where they're putting the ball probably means both teams are going to get the slap on the wrist of you both were involved.
Unsportsmanlike on the offense, number 8. We have an unsportsmanlike on number 14 of the defense.
Yep.
On defense, is ejected for throwing a punch.
I tell you what, that's good news for the Lobos because Hale did not get ejected.
No, what we got is, if you heard it, penalties of unsportsmanlike conduct on Jalen Hale and on Sean Larry, number 14. We talked about Larry a few minutes ago. His body language was bad on a tackle earlier on Johnson out of bounds, and it got worse. And obviously he threw the punch at Hale and got ejected.
We'll get a reset here. 4:05 left on the clock. Clock's running again, 37-21. Fresh set of downs for the Lobos. as they are on the Timberview 27 or 28-yard line.
First down and 10. They start the clock rolling again now as we get back to the line of scrimmage. Play clock's down to 3, 2, 1. They get it off just in time. Hand off to Tatum right up the middle. He'll spin down to about the 23-yard line for a gain of about 4. And it looks like Timberview is going to take their first time out with 3:37 left in the ball game.
A little surprised to Coach Brown this long. I thought as soon as they gave up possession, they would start burning timeouts. But now under 4 to go, he's going to start using them. He can't take them home with him.
All right, well, the Lobos have 3:37 left to try to run the record to 14-0 and secure a spot in the state semifinals, a place they haven't been since they won a state championship.
Yeah, we talked about Hayes King earlier this evening. You talked about his entering the portal down at Texas A&M. He was the quarterback on that state championship team that broke the long drought for Longview football and finally got them that so sought after state championship after so many years.
So 2 timeouts still in the pocket now of the Wolves. If they give up another first down, it's going to be pretty much academic. 2nd down and 6 after the gain by Taylor Tatum, who right now sits at 22 carries, 170 yards. High formation. Give it to him again. Right up the middle again to near the 20-yard line. Timeout number 2 quickly called by James Brown. It comes with 3:32 left to play.
One would suspect the ball will remain on the ground, that John King and his staff will continue to run the football. The only real question here right now is if they don't pick up the first down and you leave yourself a yard or two, do you decide to kick a field goal, which would end the game, but you also take the risk of getting a field goal blocked, or do you just simply go for it on 4th down?
It depends how far I'm talking about. By the way, Longview ISD wants to give special thanks to Orr Cadillac GMC for their support of Lobo football. All right, 3:32 left. Mansfield Timberview Wolves with 1 timeout left. Ball's at the 21-yard line. Lobos can get a first down at the 18. They've stayed in that same I formation. This time it's Jordan Allen right up the middle. The big push behind the whole offensive line inside the 15. What's good for you is good for us. First down at about the 13-yard line.
That had been an effective mode for the Wolves tonight. They had used Reed in some rugby-type pushes this evening. That time Jordan Allen gets behind the interior of the line and pushes ahead for the first down.
Coach Brown doesn't even bother with the timeout after that. Clock runs as we come up on the 3:10 mark. 15 seconds on the play clock. The Lobos are within 3 minutes of winning this region. Same stuff, same formation. We got a flag. The play clock did go off. They took too much time.
A little too long.
With 2:58, they'll go back 5 yards.
Trying to milk every second out of it. Jordan Allen just a little late. Once again, Darnsburg has to be restrained by his teammates. Looks like they're probably going to find somebody to go out there and play football for him, if I was to guess.
Darensburg checks back out. Coming in the game, Cedric Mitchell, number 93. Well, 21 points the Lobos have given up tonight.
But only 7 here in the second half.
That 21 points is the most this season. Handoff to Tatum, spins back down to about the 13-yard line. He got the 5 yards back, and it'll be 2nd down.
13-yard line.
Coach Brown continues to sit on his last time out.
North Mesquite got 19 on the Lobo defense back on October the 14th. And still, second half points hard to come by against this team. They gave up 1 touchdown, the long run by Reed on the first possession of the 3rd quarter. Other than that, nothing. His defense continues. They've only given up now on the season 29 points in the second half. 2 minutes left. Handoff Tatum, we got a flag. Taylor was leaning. He may have actually called him for a false start. Yep, he was leaning forward and kind of just a half count beat the snap count.
Yeah, that's what you don't want. You don't want to stop the clock here.
So we go back 5, we go forward 5, we'll go back 5 again. Clock stops 1:58.
Still a 2-score ball game. Got to protect the football here.
It's a weird way to bleed off the clock. Lots of stops with penalties. Start him up again. This time we're going to go a little wider. Stretch to Tatum. Tries to cut back and nothing doing. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Now John King may have to start thinking about a field goal as they call their final timeout here.
Comes with 1:48 left to play. No more timeouts for the Wolves.
What this timeout does, it kind of takes the ability to throw a pass away from them, because now you want to run. You know they don't have any more timeouts. You can take another 40 seconds off the clock. Otherwise, you may have thought, well, let's just pass the football here. But right now, I think you're going to want to run the football again, or maybe a safe pass. Don't be surprised Elijah Johnson rolls out into the flat here. Do a little run-pass option for Jordan Allen. Frank's looking at you down here. I don't know. Oh, he's looking at the score in the other ball games we're following.
Uh-oh. Well, what's the score in the other ball game?
38-14, the Carthage Bulldogs are up on the Texarkana Pleasant Grove Hawks in a quarterfinal/regional final ball game. Carthage, no stranger to folks in East Texas, their prowess on the football field.
So at the moment, looks like the two number 1s in 4A Division II and 5A Division I are going to hold on to those unbeaten records. 3rd down, handoff Tatum again, and here comes the push. We'll stop things at the 15-yard line. Clock's going to keep rolling now.
See where they crank it. They've already cranked it, so it's going to run about 40 seconds off. Then I suspect John King will take a timeout and decide to either run a play or kick a field goal.
He will be able to run it all the way down to the 1-minute mark before he does that, and that's what he's doing. He's walking over right now to talk to the official and says exactly what he wants to do, which is get this thing down to the last 1 minute. If it's me, I'm probably going to bring in Michael Fields, and I just want to make sure I've got myself a 3-score lead. Now, granted, you run the risk of missing it, or you run the risk of it getting blocked and a quick turnaround with 7, potentially 8 points the other way. There's the timeout. Comes exactly with 1:01 left to play in the ball game. Lobos have 1 timeout remaining.
Well, let me make an argument. Against the kick. If you get it tipped, you've got Reed back there as a possible return man. We have a buddy, Robert Cochran, who used to coach girls basketball but coached a lot of football. He always argued your kicking team was your worst coverage team. Your field goal unit had your worst coverage athletes on the field. With Reed back there, if you get a partial block or whatever, you take a risk of a return.
No question.
I also are concerned with if they get in and block it, that someone can scoop and score. That's why you don't kick here. Why you do kick is that 1 extra point makes the ball game over.
And really, right now, all of this is happening. This conversation is happening because of the first missed extra point of the season that happened earlier this quarter. Otherwise, this game would be over and we'd be on the road home.
Yeah, we would just think, automatic point. Fields has done such a great job, he and his holder and snapper, but it looks like they've got the offensive unit out there.
All right, well, they're doing this discussion, so we'll let them finish it off, and here they come. And it is Jordan Allen and the offense.
They're going to take another timeout.
Yeah, they're going to, why keep any extras? We'll burn the last one as well.
I think they were looking at the defensive formation. It's the old basketball timeout where you let your guys in the booth go, who's their personnel package out there? What do they got going? I remind you, it's 4th down. You can pass out here now if you want to. Now I think they're going to reconsider their defensive alignment now that they've seen what Longview's going to do and who they're sending out.
No question. Hey, Longview ISD wants to give special thanks to the folks at XLER for their support of Lobo football. 1:01 left to play. A game that was a punch and match back and forth. 7-0, 7-7, 14-7, 14 all. At the half, 21-14, 21 all. The Lobos picked up a touchdown, a field goal, and another touchdown. And here we go on 4th down. They can get a first down at around the 3, and we're going to hand the ball off. Sweeping, Taylor Tatum goes inside the 10, but it won't be enough for the first down. And Lobos are going to give the ball back with 55 seconds remaining.
Yeah, the sweep play is the one that takes the most time. You run off another 5 seconds there. And now the Lobo defense kind of gets to put their ears back and go chase a quarterback.
If there's no more yards for Tatum, 27 carries, 189 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
That qualifies a monster ball game in a quarterfinal action.
Not bad. And by the way, he passed Tyler McCrary. He's number 3 all-time for a single season. And with that 189, it still leaves him, 57. He is 157 yards shy of 300.
Yeah,
of 2,000.
Frank wants to remind you, he also had a TD catch.
That's right, 5 touchdowns. Back to pass, Bates looking deep, throws middle field, caught, and out to the 20-yard line, enough for the first down. 13. We've had him a couple times, Tyler Madison. He was just not on my starting roster, but he gets a gain out to the 20.
Clock stops long enough to move the chains.
40 seconds left. Bates intercepted. Picked off at the 30-yard line. Lobos to the 10, the 5, touchdown. How about Tadarian Boone with his 3rd defensive touchdown of the season? And the Lobos have just put a seal on it, although there is a flag down back at the 12-yard line. We'll see where this one goes.
Only thing that probably really bring that back would be if that's a roughing the passer or something. Let's see if it's a hold or what they've got here. Got
another discussion between officials. Longview's defense is staying on the field, and it looks like it may be on them. Boy, Tadarian's like, man, you got to be kidding me. Yep. There it is. A little roughing the passer on the late hit, so they take the touchdown off the board and give him 15 yards with 33 seconds left to play.
Probably just delays the inevitable, but nonetheless, for Boone, a great moment. It'll look good on a highlight, but it won't be a real play.
Yeah. All right, so they'll move the ball to the 36-yard line. First down and 10. Bates back again, looking to go deep, overshoots Evans. Second down and 10.
Yeah, that's the play they missed on the big 3rd down, that same pass pattern. And he overthrew him on the big 3rd down, and he overthrew him there. Or was that 4th down? That may have been a 4th down when they went for it.
Yeah, it was. 28 seconds to play. For the second time this postseason, 5 touchdown day for Taylor Tatum. Bates gonna run it. He's across the line of scrimmage, and he's off, and it'll be Boone that escorts him out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Enough for a first down. Clock stops with 20 seconds left.
Yeah, smart play by Boone. No need to give him another 15 with a late hit. Let him get what he can get and get on out of bounds. Lobos go with an extra defensive back here. They pulled one of the linebackers.
Yeah, Javion Robertson, number 28, checks in for Longview. He's an extra safety out there. They'll back those guys 15 yards up. Bates back to pass, middle of the field. That one's caught. Evans to the 41-yard line. They'll stop the ball to move the chains, and then they'll start the clock back up again.
Down to 10 seconds.
Bates back. This may be the last one. This one caught. McKinnon's got a first down, steps out of bounds with 2 seconds left.
Enough time for one more snap this evening.
And the Longview Lobos will line up for one more play, and they'll walk out of here as regional champions tonight.
After winning a quarterfinal matchup.
Whatever. It's academic. Bates just going to snap one more time. He's back. Pass rush coming. Here goes toss to the end zone, and that one's incomplete, and that'll do it. For the Longview Lobos, the #1 team in the state in 5A Division I. They've been that since the first day of the season. On the first Friday of December are still that. They have run the table. They're 14-0, and they're heading on to the state semifinals against either Aledo or Burleson Centennial next week.
If you're wondering, can these Lobos take a punch? They took a couple of pretty good punches tonight. Good offensive ball club. Took a while to really get the read on them and begin to shut them down. This team moved the ball against the Lobo defense as well as anyone we've seen this year. And so outstanding job by Timberview. They came in here with a solid offensive scheme, but in the end, the Lobos showed they can take a couple of punches and put a team away.
Let's recap this first quarter. Taylor Tatum, 3-yard touchdown run to make it 7-0. Michael Fields' point after actually made it 7. Cameron Bates, a 29-yard run, tied the game up. Emma Young with the point after. That's how the first quarter ended. Second quarter, Tatum with a 12-yard touchdown run. The Wolves matched it with Savion McKinnon's 25-yard touchdown reception from Cameron Bates. We were tied at 14 at halftime. In the third quarter, Taylor Tatum, a 24-yard reception from Jordan Allen to make it 21-14. Jarvis Reed on the next play took it 60 yards for a touchdown to make it 21-all. Taylor Tatum answered with a 58-yard run in the other direction. Lobos were up 28-21. They would not trail after that. Michael Fields with a 36-yard field goal in the fourth quarter to make it 31-21. And Taylor Tatum's 4th rushing touchdown, 5th actual touchdown of the game from 4 yards away made it 37-21. Lobos with 19 first downs. Wolves had 20. 42 carries, 258 yards for Longview, 34 carries, 203 for the Wolves. How about Jordan Allen, 5 for 5, 44 yards passing with 1 touchdown. Bates went 11 for 18, 179 yards and 1 score. Humes was 0 for 2. Obviously no yards in that. Jarvis Reed had 21 carries, 151 yards and a score. Taylor Tatum, 27 carries, 189, 4 touchdowns. Elijah Johnson, 9 for 44. Receiving, Tatum 1 for a 24-yard touchdown reception. Derensburg had 2 catches for 15 yards. Jalen Hale, 2 catches for 5 yards. And the Longview Lobos keep on rolling.
Yeah, Elijah Johnson will come out of this thing a little banged up. Everybody else looks like they're in pretty good shape for next week's semifinal tilt.
Well, that's how you do it. An unbelievably entertaining 3 quarters. The fourth quarter leaned Lobos' way, and they move their record to 14-0. Timberview Wolves will fall to 13-1, their best record in their school's history, but there's still work to be done for the Lobos, as they will now wait and watch tomorrow to decide if it's Bearcats from Aledo or the Spartans from Burleson Centennial. They play at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon at the Star in Frisco. Winner of that game gets the winner of this game for a chance to play in the state championship in 2 weeks.
Outstanding outing tonight for the Lobos. Congratulations to John King on, what'd you say, playoff win number 49?
49, his 211th win of all time.
You can see the trophy presentation about to occur down on the field.
Oh,
as, the regional championship trophy.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's one you want to put in the trophy case right there.
It's not the biggest one,
nope,
but that's a big one.
You got one if you can stay alive for 2 more weeks. Right now, John's got 1 finger up. I suspect saying 1 more gets you a trip to Jerry's World.
Yeah. 1-0, that's right. That's what he's saying, 1-0. We're 1-0 this week. That's been the mantra all season long. We want to be 1-0 every week. And there's the presentation of the regional championship trophy. It belongs to the Longview Lobos. And they're going to get to play for at least 1 more week.
Trophy's going to make the trip down 80 and hit 20 and head on back to Great County.
I wonder if that's going to stay on Coach King's desk, or does that go into the trophy case?
I think it's a focal point for about 24 hours.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's been a great night. Just been a great night. And we're so fortunate for the UIL to allow us to be able to bring you this football game. We've been unable to for a couple weeks, but being able to do it this week really was special. And hopefully we'll see if we can't do it again next week and maybe get you one more before the state championship. All right, tell you what, we've seen it all. We saw the win. We got the trophy. We're heading to the house. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. For Tony Kirk, I'm Chuck Zach. You have been watching Longview ISD's presentation of Lobo football.